Sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like that. You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
Oh, no.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Tuesday, June 25th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon, and I am Sam. Let's get started. It was a very star-studded event. Big names in Hollywood performed a dramatic reading of the Mueller report. John Lithgow portrayed President Trump in a live reading of portions of the 448-page report called The Investigation, A Search for Truth in 10 Acts. Kevin Kline, Jason Alexander, Alyssa Milano were also in it. Annette Bening narrated, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Sigourney Weaver made recorded appearances. Here are some of the highlights.
This is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm
If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that.
The framers of the Constitution gave us the tools to handle such an event. They did their job. Robert Mueller did his job. The question is, will we do ours?
The show was live streamed from a theater in New York and was trending on Twitter last night. But many are asking, will the A-list celebs really bring renewed attention to the subject? You're shaking your head. You believe it will.
Oh, I think so, definitely. So, I mean, right. The Mueller report is very intense, unless you're incredibly intelligent, like our very lovely Tori. Oh. I'm not going to understand what's going on, let's be real. So, if there are a load of A-list celebrities acting it out so I can understand it better, yes, it's going to help me. It's going to give me an insight into what's happened.
I totally disagree. I thought the whole thing was a failure. I thought it was weird. I thought it was long.
And you were looking forward to it.
And I was looking forward to it. And it had good actors, but they're all polarizing. They're very liberal. You're speaking and preaching to the choir. 10 acts? It's a Twitter world. You got to think Twitter. You got to think condensed. 10 acts is too long for anybody, including myself.
And in my opinion, I feel like it was just weird. I felt like it trivialized it. It just, to me, left me feeling icky. And I shouldn't feel that way, considering that this is important for all of us to understand. I know only 4% of us have actually sat down and read it. I'm sure Tori's one of them. But I definitely agree with you. I think, unfortunately, it did fall flat.
Yeah. Maybe they could have broken it up.
Yeah, how about 5 or fewer acts? I mean, 10 acts? What are you doing?
Right, yeah. All right, Bert, we see you. All right, let's get to this next story. New footage has been released in the Jussie Smollett saga, and we want to warn you, it actually might be quite disturbing to some. What you're seeing is body cam video put out by Chicago police. It shows the moments after cops arrived at Jussie's apartment following the alleged assault in January. You can see the Empire actor still has the noose around his neck. Listen to his exchange with police.
Okay. Do you want to take it off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted y'all to see.
1872, Robert.
Show us transporter one female official
There's bleach on me. They put bleach on me.
Okay.
1870.
They're filming you. Like audio. I guess when they didn't know they were walking into. I don't want to be filmed. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Jussie said he was the victim of a hate crime, but police say he orchestrated the whole thing. A grand jury eventually indicted him on 16 counts, but the prosecutor, Kim Fox, later dropped all the charges, prompting a lot of backlash and outrage. However, Jussie is not out of the woods just yet. A special prosecutor is now handling the case, which means Jussie could still face charges, Brandon.
You know, Sam, watching that video, I get just as angry as I was when we first heard the news that he was allegedly attacked, because we went to bat for him.
Yep.
I was calling for people's heads, and I was coming from a place from a brother of someone who is LGBT, and I like to think of myself as an LGBT ally. So it's a slap in the face when we're hearing about a hate crime against an actual black man and a gay person, and now to have to see this video, that's not even a noose. When I thought noose, I'm thinking a KKK noose. Yeah. That's like he just won the March Madness basketball tournament and cut down the net and put it around his neck.
And speaking
it's a slap in the face.
And do you think we're going to see the end of this? Do you think he eventually will be held accountable? I mean, given...
No, I don't.
No?
I don't. I think things have gotten too messy and they kind of want this to go away. I just think that the way the noose was, the way he kind of folded it up, is not the way you would react if someone put a noose around you. So this is my own speculation. It did feel super weird in that video.
You'd be ripping it off. You wouldn't be waiting. You'd probably be stood there shaking with your hands like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You wouldn't be like casually folding it back up as it came out the package.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. We will. I don't think this is the end of this story, Tori. I do not think it's the end.
Netflix special.
We'll have to continue continue to follow it. I think we're going to hear more. Dame Judi Dench is defending some of the most hated men in Hollywood. The 84-year-old actress is speaking out about Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. In a new interview with UK's Radio Times, Dench says, quote, "You cannot deny somebody a talent." She goes on to say, "Are we just not going to see all those films that Harvey produced? You might as well never look at a Caravaggio painting. You might as well never have gone to see Noel Coward." Dench has been critical of Weinstein, becoming one of the first female celebrities to slam him over allegations of sexual assault against a number of women. Weinstein denies the accusations against him. But this has us asking, TBL Nation, can you still enjoy art made by disgraced artists? And I want to put this on a grander scale here, because it's been 10 years since Michael Jackson passed away today. And I want to hear from you, Tori. When you listen to Michael Jackson, arguably one of the most talented musicians in the world of our time, does it make you think twice when you listen to him?
Yeah.
Do you listen to him?
No, not anymore. I mean, I was at trivia night last night, and Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson song came on as an answer, and everyone screamed, "Too soon!"
Really?
The whole bar. And it's just, you know, I understand you're asking, do you believe in the art or the artist? And I think at some point, if you feel like the music or the art was made on the backs of those unfortunate, then I can't listen to it.
Can you separate it?
I sadly disagree with Tori. I'm not condoning any of these allegations, but also we saw with Matt Lauer the other day that he wasn't included in a massive montage of the show that he was working on, the Today Show. And I just think you can't erase history. You can't act like something never happened, something never existed. These are all Harvey Weinstein is a very talented producer and executive. Also, Matt Lauer is a very talented host. Michael Jackson's an incredible performer. We can't take those facts away. Does it mean what they did was right? Absolutely
Does
not.
that mean I have to listen to that music?
Well, you don't have to.
I think
it's like we ignore it.
It's a to each its own type of thing. I don't think anybody should be judging anyone. I like that we're having a nuanced conversation, but
yeah, you can. I just feel as though for me, I can love as a fan, I can love the art, but hate the artist as well. As a fan, I can watch
Cosby Show anymore?
I can watch it, but at the same time, if I was a producer or I was an actor on that for the new Cosby Show and Bill was attached to that project, I wouldn't do it.
I don't think you can watch the Cosby Show
I wouldn't do
again.
it. Why not?
Because I think you can't not think of 70 women that he drugged or were convicted of sexual assault. You can't do that.
But I'm watching Dr. Huxtable.
You're not watching Dr. Huxtable. He is so himself in that role.
I think a lot of people feel your way, but I also think a lot of people agree with you. So chime in, DBL Nation. We want to hear from you as well. Well, a shocking number of Americans regret their college degree. Does that surprise you? 2/3 of American employees say that they regret what they majored in. That's according to a new survey. With nearly 250,000 respondents, a college degree is still viewed by many as a guarantee for higher lifetime earnings. But with Americans holding nearly $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, many are having second thoughts. So we want to know, do you regret your college degree? Go to dblvote.com, weigh in, DBL Nation. As a college graduate myself, I think this is to each its own. Again, I mean, I don't want to say that for every story that we're doing today, but for me, it benefited me. But if somebody knows that college isn't for them, I'm not going to penalize them for that.
Yeah, I think it used to be a no-brainer about 5 years ago, okay? You had to go to college. I'm from D.C. This was it. There's no other choice. And now?
Would your parents have been ticked, though, Tori, if you didn't go to college?
5 years ago, but now? I'm telling you, the vocational trading, the 2-year, totally different vocabulary we're dealing with.
Yeah. The problem is, though, at that age, you don't always know what you're passionate about. You might think you want to do something and then completely change your mind. We're not all Brandon Londons of the world that leave school young and just know what your passion is.
Yeah, you left school.
You just told my story before I can even tell my story. Girl, we're gonna talk about representation later on. But yeah, I left. I left UMass after my senior football season because I wanted to go get in better shape and become a better athlete for the NFL. Once that NFL and Canadian football dream started to dwindle away, me and my grandmother had a serious talk. She's like, "Baby, are you going to go back to UMass and get your degree?" "No, Grandma. I've been out in LA taking on-camera classes, taking theater classes because I wanted another type of schooling. And UMass wasn't going to honor that towards my degree. So I'm like, forget that. This is what I want to do. But if you're going to go that route," and I tell kids, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Yeah.
Waking up every day. You work 80 hours so you don't have to work 40 hours. So I push that. You're going to have the discipline. You're going to have the motivation to get up and put in the work that others aren't putting in.
You better know what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You better know what you want to do. And I think it's perfectly fine for parents to sit down with their parents if their child is not going to choose the conventional route, to make sure that they are not just, floundering. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, 53% of you say no. You do regret. Okay, so you do regret it. 53% of you do regret it. I can't talk. Okay. I think that has a lot to do with the enormous debt.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We do want to give a big DBL shout out to Sandy Zimmerman, who became the first mom to ever complete the American Ninja Warrior obstacle course. And at 42, she also became the oldest woman to do it. That's according to the show. Check it out.
This is her goal. The first mother ever to hit a buzzer.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? That looks good for her. She looks incredible. What an achievement. Wow.
3 kids? I can't do that, and I have a dog.
Honey, you have 2 dogs.
I have 2. You're right.
How
Totally
dare
different
you
story.
only mention one of them?
My money
I think you would. I think you would kill it. I know I'm not in the right shape to do
Do
it.
y'all not remember when I did the Ninja Warrior
It's hard.
piece with the 11-year-old girl?
You lost to an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
okay.
at there's Brandon right there.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hey, I was also about 15 pounds heavier, too. So, I mean, I'll go try it again.
But that just underscores how difficult that task is. So good on her.
Yeah.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Yep, we salute you, Mama. DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, actor Alfonso Ribeiro tells me about his time as Carlton on Fresh Prince and the advice he gave Will Smith before the show took off. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Forget the Foodie call. Now there's the Foodie call. Hungry singles are going on dates, not for the romance, but for the free food. Your comments coming up next.
Best Fiends.
Hello, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories. Please let us know what you think of that 5th host. It's going to be a really good one. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, you want to chat some more about it?
No, but you're like all over the place. It's a good thing.
At home who bet is
But I think somebody should track
Okay,
this.
so if you guys don't know Bert, this is our big boss. You know when you say big boss? This is Bert. And when Bert goes like this, it means you want to move on. Now, if he goes like this, it means you better move your tushy immediately. So he was doing this, and sometimes I don't see him, and so Sam just calls him out. It's the best thing ever. We see you, Bert. We see you. So now you know. It's a little inside baseball. Under the thing. He's going to talk. Go ahead.
Never mind.
So Bert cracks me up because Bert is when Bert's out on set, he's very involved. Rightfully so, because he has a good instinct. So does Chris, our EP. Yep. And so Bert is moving around, telling us to rap. He's in the way of Rob. Rob's in the way of him. If you guys could only see the behind the scenes, you would have no idea the chaos.
It is.
It's all good, and it's all in good fun. There's chaos that happens here.
How about when they go 3, 2, and we're coming back to a tape piece, but you think you're alive, so you're like 3, 2. Oh, okay, we're tape.
I mean, it's just like the chaos that is going on.
Usually there's not much chaos going on here.
That's
There's more chaos going on here.
That's true.
There is
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Especially when Stephanie's
So Stephen George wrote us in, Michael Jackson is still played all around the world. America's always tried to tear him apart. May his spirit live on forever. And a lot of people...
But you will. But you might be surprised how you feel about it. Though. You don't
it
have
might
to
change the way you feel
Yeah,
about this.
you don't. Yeah, I don't think you should rip his music apart. But to Tori's point, it was the same song, "Man in the Mirror," when I was getting my nails done. When it came on, because it's one of my favorite songs.
I love that song.
I did feel icky.
Yeah.
I thought something's not. I'm not getting the same feeling that I used to get when I listened to "Man in the Mirror."
Yeah, like Al took it off his Sonos
Not
playlist.
to say it's not incredible music.
Like you said, it's to each his own.
Yeah.
I'll still sit there and Mama say Mama Maku's side.
May I say something very quickly
Yeah.
while that's on?
Yep.
You are hosting a national television show
Yep.
using the word icky.
Yeah, better. Welcome back to DBL. It is time for 5th Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. 1/3 of women in a new survey admitted to going out on a date just for a free meal. You know, they were hungry. It is called a foodie call. That's when a person books a date with someone who they aren't interested in just for free food. Researchers say that although their study focused on straight women, men are likely no stranger to this concept. So DBL Nation, are foodie calls okay, and have you ever booked one? Ooh, Brandon, take it away,
I just
honey.
love our 5th host.
Take it away.
Elders from Facebook says, this is disgusting because if you're that desperate to use someone for a free meal, then dating is the least of your problems. I'm so grateful that I've been married for 26 years. Blessings come, so there's no need to use anyone. Elders for the win. Congratulations on your 26-year marriage. And I just think this is just taking advantage of chivalry. And it's, you're putting a guy in a situation, or you're putting a woman in a situation, because this can go both ways. You're putting them in a situation to where they find out the bad in you and they take that out on the next person. This dating in 2019, we don't need to be playing games.
I think I've seen people actually fall in love and marry each other because it's a conversation. We'll talk later. Nicole from Facebook says,
call me.
That's how it should be. There's nothing wrong with this. The food and drink is for your time and company. It's not a promise to go out on another date. Nicole, I 100% agree with you, girl. I completely agree. You're going out for practice. It's a conversation. It's an interview, if you will. So there's food involved. I have no issue with this, and you might fall in love.
There's no such thing as a
Brandon,
practice date?
Okay, it is fifth host. Thank you.
All right.
Jennifer from Facebook says, that's a terrible thing to do. Why would you do this to someone? Anyone who would do this clearly gets off on using people. Wow, Jennifer, you're a bit harsh, aren't you? I mean, I didn't know what this was until today. I'd never heard of it. This is a completely new concept to me. Does it surprise me? No. Is it the end of the world? If you're offering to take someone out, you obviously can afford to take them out. And if maybe that person's in maybe dire straits in order to do that, are we really going to judge them that hard?
Use your charm.
It's fifth host, guys. It's fifth host.
Oh, giving it right back. Mara from Facebook says, yeah, I'll take the free meal, especially if I know his true motive is sex, not a relationship. Listen, Jennifer, who you answered her question to, is not going to like me because I have to admit, we're very transparent on this show. In college, I did this just once. For lunch. For lunch, and he offered, I would like to take you to lunch. I never assumed that he was taking me to lunch. I was starving, hungry, and so I gladly accepted his offer. And I came home with a full belly.
And did you enjoy your time?
I enjoyed my time. He was a lovely human being. Sparks could have happened.
Yes.
They didn't, but they could have happened. So.
Now, I ain't saying you a food digger.
Okay.
I ain't saying.
Get that last comment in, Brandon. It's fifth host. Remember, it's fifth host.
I had a friend who regularly used a guy for free drinks and meals. I knew she was not into him and felt bad because he was really sweet. I treated him to lunch and told him, and now we're engaged. You done took your friends, man. How's that? And I just look at it. I had a situation like this back when I was a rookie in the NFL, and I took this woman out because I wanted to date her. I wanted to court her. So, I'm texting one of my friends, one of my teammates, and he's like, you're taking her out? She just went out with that guy, and she went out with that guy.
She's dating.
I left.
What's wrong with that?
She's dating. I'm
not a free meal. I'm sorry. I'm not a Groupon code.
Are you just a snack?
She's not allowed to date one person.
You just said you're not a full meal. You a snack, honey.
I'd say I'm not a free meal.
Oh, okay.
I'm a buffet.
What? I don't know what just happened.
I'm just going. You looking at me and stuff. All
right. Coming up on DBL, Fresh Prince star Alfonso Ribeiro relives memories from the sitcom set, and he tells us how often he gets together with the rest of the cast. That's coming up next.
From the clean beauty icon herself, Rosemarie Swift. Now, I was able to pick her brain about herself, her amazing brand, RMS Beauty, and so much more. But today, I want to make sure that I brought back the tips that she gave me for flawless skin and flawless makeup every day. Now, the first one I want to share with you guys is using her beauty oil. Now, I'm not just saying any beauty oil. Her beauty oil is the truth, guys. This oil is what truly gives you an amazing luminous glow in the skin that's not oily, but simply a beautiful luminous finish. All right, y'all. Now with this guy, it has amazing ingredients like jojoba, rosehip, and even ashwagandha oil, which is amazing for healing benefits. This is also going to make sure that the skin has the hydration that it needs to make sure that our makeup glows on flawlessly. Now with something like this, I like to use about 3 to 4 drops all over my skin, but I've really been using using this for a little bit of everything. After I shave, before I do makeup, as my night serum. I mean, it was like rated in the top 10 in Japanese Vogue for the best beauty oil, so I think it can do good for my skin too. You guys gotta try it out though. Let me know how you love it. It's about 3 to 4 drops. So for our next one, this guy is called our Master Mixer. Now, she actually told me that she discovered this product on accident. She was in Japan doing a model, and when she was doing the model's makeup, she accidentally picked this jar up instead of something else. Now, the result it gave her made an amazing product that is legendary now. This guy gives you a beautiful shine, almost like a nice little highlight on the cheekbone, but it almost also perfects the skin in every which way possible. So I typically just do my little beauty oil all over. I'll tap.
Welcome back to DBL. He's best known for playing Carlton on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Alfonso Ribeiro does it all. He's a TV host, a dancer, and a dad. And earlier, I had the chance to talk with Alfonso about the advice he gave Will Smith early in their career and his new project involving road trips. So buckle up and check out today's Chatting with the Stars. Alfonso Ribeiro, welcome to DBL. I can't wait to hear about your road trip hotline. It's definitely going to help a lot of families, mine included. But first, as a huge Fresh Prince fan, I was so excited to see you and some of your co-stars reunite at the Aladdin premiere. So how often do you all get together?
It's never a reunion if you see people all the time, right? It's just it's a reunion for the fans to see us together, but we're together all the time. I talk to him all the time. My kid wanted to go see Aladdin. I was like, I kind of know someone.
That's amazing. And I recently saw a clip on the Graham Norton show where Will Smith thanked you because he was talking about how you guys were trying to figure out your character names for Fresh Prince, and you gave him some really great advice.
Now, Alfonso pulled me aside. He said, man, let me tell you something. He said, whatever your character's name is, people are going to call you that for the rest of your life. He said, make your character's name Will Smith.
And I was hoping that by saying that, he would have named my character Alfonso, but he didn't. I was still Carlton. And so from that day forward, the rest of my life, I've been known as Carlton in every airport in America.
I love it. All right, well, you and your wife recently welcomed a third child together. Congrats. As a new mother who once, by the way, took a road trip with 4 cats, a dog, a newborn, all the way from Los Angeles to Colorado, I could have really used your hotline. So tell us about the hotline and also some parenting road trip fails that I can learn from.
Okay, so I obviously teamed up with Hampton to create the Real Travel Road Trip Hotline, and we are there obviously to help people like yourself on a road trip understand, and they could call us and get information to help them along the way.
How do you answer that question? Are we there yet?
Well, you know, you deviate, you change the plan, or you try to create some more distractions, right? Like, you know, the games that you can play are great distractions. You know, you could ask memories, you can talk about, you know, have conversations, and you can you know, distract them and create some moments in the car that will you know, last forever. Moments
are the key, and I appreciate that. How can our viewers access the road trip hotline so they can create more moments with their kids?
Yep, they can go to hamptonhotline.com, or they can pick up the phone the old-fashioned way, 866-7-HAMPTON.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Alfonso, and I hope you have a great summer. Good luck with your road trips.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
How great is he? Seriously. We'll be right back.
So, just writing you in, Mike Nicholson writes a good point. I'm so much a loner, so yeah, I enjoy not giving meal tickets, just playing solo is best. And Karen Guest says, I think when you take someone out to offer them to pay, you have to understand it might be a one-time thing. I don't like that people do it on purpose just because they want a meal but no interest. Yeah, I think that's where I'm like, if you have zero interest, you are just using somebody. But if it could happen, it could happen, you know what I'm saying? So I went to a trivia yesterday, and I wanted to ask you guys if you can guess, so I'm going to give you till next commercial break. This question. Okay. It's a little too confusing to do it that way. I'll just say this. Without looking it up, what group is the Corgi in? in dog breeds.
What?
What group is the Corgi in? I'm not going to say anything till next break. Don't look it up. The Corgi. What did you say, Sam? So the Pelsch Wembrook Corgi, I believe they are called, excuse me, without the tail. I want to know what you think the group is. I know this is riveting, but people are paying attention. Someone even walked over. Show David. There's interest here. He likes any kind of game, so.
Yeah.
So I got this wrong, and I was really upset. And I would love to know what you guys think. So
It's not terrier, like Brandon said?
it is, I will say this, it is not in the terrier group. The Corgi is not in the terrier. You are wrong, Brandon. You are wrong, Brandon. Let's say it again. I'm calling you out on digital. And it is, I'm not going to, Poodle is not a group. That's a toy group. That's a toy group. You can guess toy group, but again, the Corgi. There's not a medium-sized dog group. Toy group is usually the little ones. Little leg is not a group. But if you notice also, the long dog is not also a group name either, just the dachshund, just itself. The Corgi has no tail.
Oh, no tail group.
The no-tail group is not a group. Sam improving, I love this.
Can we have multiple choice?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know group.
I'll tell you this. The Corgi is a royal dog that Queen Elizabeth used on some of her outings. It's not the killing it, Sam. It's a yes and. Okay, so write me in if you know it. And I got it wrong, and I'm still upset about it. The Regal Beagle Group is not a group, but beagles are regal indeed. There's the standard, the 13-inch. Sometimes they're tricolor, sometimes they're not. I'm sorry? Rhodesian Ridgeback is not a group, though a lovely dog. The Ridgeback, if you don't know, is hackles that stay up permanently. And they have a beautiful Ridgeback, and they fight, and it's for a hard brush, so they can get in the brush. They fight lions sometimes. Rhodesian Ridgebacks. Any other dog questions? He's giving me this. It's time to go. Okay, thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
Okay, Karen kind of summed it up very well on YouTube. I think when you take someone out and offer to pay, you have to understand it might be a one-time only thing. I don't like that people do it on purpose, though, just because they want a meal but no interest. So the line is, if you have zero interest at all, that's when you're using someone.
I also don't think you should make a habit out of it.
Yeah, don't be that person.
I think some people really do, from what we're learning, do this
to eat.
Yeah.
But like regularly.
Weird.
Yeah, once in a blue moon, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
And you better hope that, and you can't assume. And you got to be open to fireworks.
Open to fireworks.
Yeah. A firework could happen. Baby. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Happy Tuesday. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories, but you may have noticed Raquel Villanueva has not been with us the past couple of days. That's because she's in Florida for the SpaceX launch. She just saw the launch live last night at 2:30 Eastern. She had to stay up really late, so here's a look at her experience. Take a look.
Hi, DBL Nation. Tonight, the rocket right behind me will launch. Depending on weather, they have about a 4-hour window starting at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, but it's going to be well worth the wait. The launch was delayed for 3 hours, so there's a bunch of people in the parking lot right now just trying to keep themselves busy. I'm here with Mish Matthews. She has the best idea for passing the time while we wait for the launch to happen. It is an intergalactic space party. She's provided the glow sticks, a little bit of gems, and then she's going to do the other side for me right now.
Yes. So here we go.
So what inspired this?
David Bowie and Stardust. Those
Perfect.
are the two, big things that I wanted to.
I feel like Elon Musk really loves David Bowie, so this is perfect.
100%. Here, I just added 3 more gems to that side. Looking fab.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've ever seen, And as soon as the rocket went off, the alligators in the water about a few feet from us all started jumping up at the same time. And then it was just this eerie feeling that came over everyone. There was screaming, there was crying. It was really, really cool. It's the only way I can describe it. Hi, DBL Nation.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Thank you, Jimmy Smits. We have a brand new interview with him coming up in just a minute. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Tuesday, June 25th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get started. Well, it was a very star-studded event. Big names in Hollywood performed a dramatic reading of the Mueller report. John Lithgow portrayed President Trump in a live reading of portions of the 448-page report called The Investigation, A Search for Truth in 10 Acts. Kevin Kline, Jason Alexander, Alyssa Milano were also in it. Annette Bening narrated, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Sigourney Weaver made recorded appearances. Here are some of the highlights.
My God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm The president became angry and lambasted the attorney general for his decision to recuse from the investigation.
If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that.
The framers of the Constitution gave us the tools to handle such an event. They did their job. Robert Mueller did his job. The question is, will we do ours?
The show was live streamed from a theater in New York and was trending on Twitter last night. But many are asking, will the A-list celebs really bring renewed attention, Erica, to the subject? Do you think it'll work? Did it work?
Initially when we first talked about it in theory, I was like, this seems really cheesy. When you watch it, it does clarify. It's like, I like to watch different shows that will give you a breakdown of historical facts, but they're speaking your language, kind of like when you go to church and they're speaking Latin versus when they're speaking about real life events. It just makes you process it better, but you're also the audience that it's intended for. Is it going to bring in a new audience? I'm not so sure. Does it clarify for the people who are interested? Yeah.
See, that's what I'm worried about, Jeff, is them not bringing in a new audience, because this was put on by LawWorks. LawWorks is supposed to be bipartisan, but the actors are very liberal, and I think that's going to, even though they're reading material that isn't, it's not going to change whether you're a liberal or conservative reading it. I do think that the people that already feel like that there's a bias in Hollywood are going to think that there's a bias here.
Oh, for sure. When I first saw this, like Erica said, I thought it was stupid. And then after seeing that, I still thought it was stupid.
But it
doesn't change my mind. Because I like Seinfeld and I like Jason Alexander doesn't mean I'm going to vote for the candidate he wants.
But maybe
I get
listen, though.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to any of that. I know what their agenda is. They're all liberals, and they want you to go the way they're reading it for a point. They're not just doing it to be like, I'm going to educate the American public. They're doing it to persuade you to vote who they want in their next election.
So let me ask you this then, because this is exactly what I think my gut was telling me. If they would have had actors that you felt weren't pushing an agenda, because this, like I said, this is put on by an institution that is bipartisan, would it have motivated you to hear, because only 4% of Americans have read that report, would it have motivated you to listen?
No, I would not have listened, and it's so hard to break down anyway, like the terms and the rhetoric that they use in there. They said it's difficult for the average person to understand.
But we should listen. This is our government. We want to hold our government accountable, do we
listen,
not?
Why don't the government do their job and I'll do mine? So I don't need to do your job. You do it.
Unfortunately, I think sometimes the constituents have to resist in order to get the government to do their job.
I think Jeff speaks for a lot of people, though. I know we got to keep it moving, but I think a lot of people are just like, I have 2-3 kids, I have a wife, I have a mortgage, I got my world, I'm juggling things.
10 acts.
I don't have time.
I know.
A lot of people don't have time to do that. And not that it's not valid, not that it's not important, but a lot of people don't have time, and I think that's what they depended on.
All right, well, chime in, DBL Nation. We want to hear from you. New footage has been released in the Jussie Smollett saga, and we want to warn you, it may be disturbing to some. What you're seeing is body cam video put out by Chicago police. It shows the moments after cops arrived at Jussie's apartment following the alleged assault in January. You can see the Empire actor still has the noose around his neck. Listen to his exchange with police.
Do you want to take it off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted y'all to see.
1872 Reverend.
Show us transport one female official
There's bleach on me. They put bleach on me.
Okay.
1870.
They're filming you. You feel me? Like audio. I guess when I mean, they didn't know they were walking and said, I don't want to be filmed. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Jussie said he was the victim of a hate crime, but police say he orchestrated the whole thing. A grand jury eventually indicted him on 16 counts, but the prosecutor, Kim Foxx, later dropped all the charges, prompting a lot of backlash and outrage. However, Jussie is not out of the woods just yet. A special prosecutor is now handling the case, which means Jussie could still face charges. Seeing that video, Erica, did that change anything that you felt initially from Jussie Smollett? Did that solidify anything in your mind?
I think that it's disturbing, but the reason why it's disturbing is because you're seeing the context that we were imagining in our heads. When I imagined the noose around his neck, it was I had a very visceral reaction, and I felt like it was reminiscent of the history of this country. When I look at this, I feel like he got into like fight with this cat. Like, I don't.
Joanne
really, honestly, it doesn't look anything like the way that it was described. And then also to see the video of the two brothers getting in the cab, paying the cab driver, getting out, like the whole. It's too much to even process because you can't make sense of nonsense.
Yeah. I know, and I don't think this is the end of this. I
No
think we're
way.
going to hear a lot more.
I'm so fascinated with this. I don't know why. I'm so because it's slowly coming out, and you're trying to put the puzzle together.
Right.
But I love it, and I want it because I think the city of Chicago isn't going to back down.
Not at all.
So they're going to try to get this prosecuted. Why did that lady drop the charges? I have so many questions other than just the obvious of
I just
why
hope
he
it doesn't
was flying
dilute,
a kite and it looked like it wrapped
I
around
hope it
him.
doesn't dilute the real victims of violence, racial attacks,
it
sexual
will,
assaults.
and it already has.
Yeah.
I hope it was worth it.
So, all right, let's get to this next story. A shocking number of Americans regret their college degree. Does that surprise you? 2/3 of American employees say that they regret what they majored in. That's according to a new survey. And Jeff, this survey actually looked at 250,000 people. So that's a big survey.
Is that okay? Is that good enough for
I
Jeff?
think that's good enough for Jeff.
That's the basement number.
All right. A college degree is still viewed by many as a guarantee for higher lifetime earnings, but with Americans holding nearly $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, many are having second thoughts. So we want to know from you, do you, DBL Nation, do you regret your college degree? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. What would you say to this, Al? Because you have not only you have a college degree, and then you also have
a master's
degree.
Well, I mean, it's weird because my degree kind of led me to my profession in a roundabout way. I got my degree, went to graduate school. Graduate school took me to Miami. From Miami, I started teaching middle school science, which I was in my degree at that time. Then started telling jokes about teaching middle school science, which basically led me to DBL. So in a weird way, it did. But I mean, I think if I was still on my teacher salary, paying back my student loans would have been an impossibility. Impossible.
Right. I think a lot of people feel that very same way, and there is societal pressures, Erica, to go to a 4-year school, to go to a 2-year school.
And family pressure.
Yeah, rather than a vocational school. But in this day and age, don't you owe it to your children to find out what they want to do?
I think so. And I think that we have a very hierarchical way of thinking of education. Like, if it's not a 4-year university, then it's just not good enough. The fact of the matter is, getting an education or getting a skill set in anything is going to be good enough, better than good enough. For me, my parents always said that we had to go to college. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So I always had that in my mind, but I also knew I was going to go into radio. So I majored in communication and minored in American studies. Yeah, because I was I had that conversation with my parents very early on.
Do you regret?
So I regret my major, but I do not regret going to college. Marketing. So I went to play football.
You would have been a good marketing agent.
Listen, no, I wouldn't.
You'd have been a great agent.
No, so I was like, when I started, I was like, you need to focus on a major. And I was like, okay, marketing. And then when I'm in the class, I'm like, when do I start like designing a cereal box? And they're like, you're in the wrong class. I'm like, well, too late now.
I thought that's what marketing is.
Well, apparently not. They wanted me to sell this pencil. They're like, sell this pencil. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Try to sell the pencil.
No, I want to create the pencil. I don't want to sell it.
Yeah, it's a pen.
Yeah, but anyways, I did not regret. I played football, and it taught me a lot of life lessons being away. And so I thought it taught me different than just books.
Right. Determination, perseverance, things like that. Well, DBL Nation, you say 53% of you say yes, you regret your college degree. There you have it. DBL's Live will bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, veteran TV actor Jimmy Smits chats with DBL for the first time. He tells us all about his upcoming NBC drama, Bluff City Law. Then, contestants on The Bachelorette take the plunge in the buff. What kind of date is this? And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Forget the booty call. Now there's the foodie call. Hungry singles are going on dates, not for the romance, but for the free food. Your comments coming up next.
DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. First, I want to let you know Tori's answer to her Corgi question is the herding group. We know a lot of you guessed right, so I wanted to let you know that that was correct, and she wanted to make sure I told you guys that. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on over here. Hey guys, can we continue to talk at the desk?
Oh, good, thank you.
Do whatever you want.
Let's do it. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey.
What's up, Al?
No, it's
How you doing? We can
jump
keep
out
going
of
with
it.
the
To do it naked is
college
weird.
topic.
Yeah, let's do it.
They keep trying to push the
I
envelope.
think a lot of people that get their degree at 17 or choose their major at 17, it's a very young
It's
age
hard.
to make a
It's very
lifelong
hard.
decision.
I got lucky. Mine was broadcast news.
Yeah, see,
I got lucky.
I think a lot of people like
I didn't know what to choose. I was all about swimming at the time when I was at UCLA. So for me, I just wanted a major that really fit around my swimming schedule because I thought I was going to go to the Olympics. I thought that would have been my career path. But so I did sociology. I'm not using sociology today. It did help me learn a lot about different things that I talk about today, especially when it comes to cultures and subcultures. So I'm grateful that I have that background. But yeah.
I was always interested in this business, and then in high school we took a class called movie studies, and we had to make our own film, and it was the best class I ever had in my life, and thank God the teacher came at the right time. Then when I went to college, people were like, that's not realistic. You can't do that in college. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to play football anyway. So then by the time it came down to like my junior year when I was playing football, they're like, you have to get a specific major going. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll do theater. And they're like, dude, you're already too far down the business path. I was going to be a teacher, then I was down the business path. So whatever I wanted to do, they're like, no, you can't do that. So there's no one pursuing like the arts with me, even at a young age. In grammar school, they weren't existent. Till my senior year, that was the first time it became existent for me. So I think the arts are very important in schools to open up kids' eyes for that. And that's what I never saw that, and that's what I was most interested in. And they're like, well, do marketing. I'm like, what the hell is that?
They just put you in a path.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to be in the play.
They put you in a path that fits your schedule.
But and it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to do theater as a Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. 1/3 of women in a new survey admitted to going out on a date just for a free meal. They were hungry, and it's called a foodie call. That's when a person books a date with someone who they aren't interested in just to eat for free. Researchers say that although their study focused on straight women, men are likely no stranger to this concept. So DBL Nation, are foodie calls okay? Let's get right to their comments, Al.
All right, Sam. And Jeanette from Facebook says, if I don't like you, I'm not dating you, period. I can get free food from a food pantry. Yes, but that's a lot less romantic. I'll just say this, anybody that's dating knows that you traditionally go on dinner date for the first time. So if you want to avoid this, do a fun date. Go to an arcade. Go to a place to just get ice cream. Fellas, protect those pockets.
And women, it happens to women too.
Sam.
Sharon. It does. It happens to women too. Remember that story that we did about that one guy?
That one guy.
Okay.
Why do you think we did a story on him? Because there's one guy.
Okay, go ahead, Erica.
Well, Sharon from Facebook says, no, if a man asks you out, it's because he's interested in you as more than a friend. However, if you say up front you are not physically attracted to him and would just like to remain friends, then go. Sharon, I like that you put all your cards on the table. I think that's what people should do. I've done this twice, and I can remember both times exactly the man and the restaurant because they said to me this key phrase: why don't we just go out to dinner? There's no strings attached. It'll be a good time. Well, hey, I like a good time. I like dinner. I like company, but I have paid it back because I absolutely have brought people out to dinner with me with no expectations of them paying. So it's come full circle.
Yes, honey, yes.
Mallory from Facebook says, yes, I'm guilty of this, but I see dates more as interviews or auditions. Bring your A game, which would include a nice meal and good conversation. Shrek just might end up becoming your prince if he plays his cards right.
Oh, I love this.
Wow, there you go. That was a nice.
And if he pays for dinner.
If he pays, yeah. Listen, I don't know. I think I grew up when I was dating that the men pay anyway, and some dates work and some dates don't. So you just have to work it out yourself, I think.
All right. Reno from Facebook says, this is why I say go Dutch on the first date. If she doesn't agree 9 times out of 10, she's a food digger. I got to be honest. Like Erica, this happened to me once. I remember the person. I remember the restaurant. I was starving in college. I had no money. I lost my swimming scholarship. And when somebody offered me a free meal, and I didn't assume out, they offered me a free meal. I would love to take you to lunch. You better believe my empty stomach said yes.
Can we ask the booth if we've cleared Cry Me a River without having to pay them?
You don't have to play Cry Me a River. I'm being honest. I'm not asking for sympathy.
You stole food from a man.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I was open to fireworks.
You had no intention of going on a second. Once you got full, he became less attractive.
Yeah, men have been stealing things for a long time, okay?
And do you know how many meals I paid for men? So many meals. I've been the breadwinner in so many of my relationships. I have no qualm with that. But when he invited me to a meal, doesn't mean I wasn't open to fireworks. They did not happen, but I was open. And I enjoyed my lunch. Did you enjoy your dinners?
Oh, both of them.
Yeah,
they were great. One was this great Italian restaurant.
A lunch date?
Yeah. What? It's LA.
What are we doing, a merger? No, I don't want a lunch date.
Listen, if someone's like, oh, you want to go out to dinner? No, let's do lunch. Well, this isn't going to work out.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're not open to fireworks if you're on a lunch date. I'm just saying.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Okay, I enjoyed my lunch. Coming up on DBL. It'll cost fans a pretty penny to get their picture taken with Sylvester Stallone. Is the price fair or is he overcharging? But first, longtime TV actor Jimmy Smits is back with a new show. Find out what it's about next in Chatting with the Stars.
The Sun.
Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories for you right now. And I've actually got a trending update to a story we've been following for you on Daily Blast Live. I think we first brought it to you last week. So San Francisco has been considering banning e-cigarettes altogether in the city. They will be voting today. I just checked. They have not voted yet, but the vote did pass with the city's Board of Supervisors unanimously last week when we brought that to you. So it would actually pit San Francisco against companies like Juul and other companies like that. And Juul's actually based in San Francisco, so that's interesting. But DBL Nation, I want to know what you think about this. Do you think it's fair to ban e-cigarettes? Obviously, one of the big reasons is because a lot of kids think it's cool to vape, and they don't want kids doing that. They don't want kids to think it's something that's cool. But do you think kids should be allowed if they're 18? I want to know what you think about this. It's definitely been a heated debate, but the fact that a city is about to ban them, and it does look like it's going to pass, I think that's really interesting. So please let me know what you think about this. Write us in and give me your DBL take. All right, I'm tracking the rest of the trending and breaking stories. I'll bring you any updates if I have them.
Welcome back to DBL. For the past 30 years, Jimmy Smits has been entertaining audiences on TV, in movies, and on stage. He returns to primetime in Bluff City Law. So I sat down with the actor to talk about the new legal drama and much more at Denver's Series Fest. That's today's Chatting with the Stars. All right, Jimmy, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Good to be here with you.
We're going to talk to you about something not so nice, about the fact that you're always getting killed off in everything, love.
Do you think that?
Oh, Miami Vice, you died in the pilot.
Yes.
NYPD, your character was killed off.
True.
Star Wars, What was your favorite death?
I actually like the Miami Vice going out because just before the character got blown up, Thomas said, why don't you turn around and smile at Crockett, who's Don Johnson's character, like not a care in the world. And he was so right on with that particular moment.
And in that moment, it was all over.
Boom.
It was off. All right, talk about Buff City Law, your new show. So in it, you play a prominent lawyer who teams up with his estranged daughter to change the world.
Change the world.
Change the world. That's a pretty big statement, right? How are you going to change the world in this series? Tell me.
You know, the law, the whole area of the law is something that's very aspirational in a lot of ways.
Everyone likes to talk about how this kind of work is rewarding, but if you lose, it destroys you.
It deals with subjects that talk about what the best of our society could possibly be, and the people who champion causes.
Yeah.
It is a father and daughter story at its center.
We're total opposites. You're conservative. I wage war.
Our differences could be our strength.
You can't just silence the truth. I want the order.
This report for review. That was brilliant in there.
Right, so Spanish is meant to be the language itself. It's very nice, it's very romantic, it's very poetic, isn't it?
That's
you
what
can
you're
tell
saying.
I've got a bit of a gripe against this because the Queen's English, in my opinion, sounds much better.
Does it?
So I want to find out once and for all.
Once and for all.
Which one is the most romantic or sexy language? How would you say, smell this dirty t-shirt?
Por favor, de un olor a esa camisilla.
Okay, you're definitely winning. Go on, hit me while I just calm myself down from that.
I'm very tired, please leave me alone.
I'm bloody knackered. Will you bugger off?
Say it again.
I'm bloody knackered.
Knackered.
Knackered. I'm knackered, darling. I'm ready for a nap. Will you bugger off?
I really like that. I'm bloody knackered.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy. I'm in need of a kip, lad. Okay, right. Are you ready? Oh, now I want you to tell me how you'd say this.
Okay.
Dennis France's butt was the best part of NYPD Blue.
La arquitectura del cuerpo del posterior de Dennis France es una maravilla.
I appreciate the movement as
The
well.
movement.
That made it. That made it. Jimmy, you've been absolutely amazing.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy Denver.
Thank you, love. And
Be
you
nice
too.
to her.
You can catch Bluff City Law starting September the 23rd on NBC. And DBL Nation, very important, we want to hear from you. We want your thoughts and opinions on our show. So go to the website on the bottom of the screen and take a short survey, very important. And coming up on DBL, the Bachelorette contestants take the naked plunge literally. Why they are bungee jumping without clothes, only God knows. And also jumping alligators and space parties. Our very own Raquel Villanueva gives you an out-of-this-world look at the latest SpaceX launch.
Promo.
What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Brandon London here for your digital commercial break, where we're going to discuss the fifth host a little bit more, talking about food diggers, foodie calls, whatever you like to call them. And remember, this isn't just something that's just all female. This is male as well. I have been guilty of this as well. But first and foremost, great interview, Stephanie. Good job. Way to earn your coin around here. But to go back to the fifth host, remember we're talking about foodie calls. People who just go on dates just for the fact that they're going to get a free meal. Kelly's telling Jeff to stop making noise because it's commercial break with Brandon, and I need to concentrate. Here we go. Barbara Hatcher says, a free meal? That's about as bad as a man thinking if he buys that meal, you owe him something. Josie Reyes says, never done it. Bunny Smith from Facebook says, me and my husband's first date was at a beach and a drive over to see the Cape Lookout here on the coast. But he pays when we go out and got married after 3 months, and we've been married about 7 years now. It's a real gentleman thing to do. Mazel tov to you two. Randolph Green also says, tell me something I didn't know. However, I have now, you guys, the grammar in here, you guys, I swear. However, I know a few women who wanted to pay some of the time because I paid most of the time. We're talking about this. It's not, I just want to make sure we set the parameters here and we get the right context. It's if someone's only intention is to go out on the date for a free meal, doesn't care about sparks flying, doesn't care to develop into a second date or a third date, develop into anything serious, just wants to have a free meal out of that date. Let's keep getting to your comments. Reno DeMille says, go Dutch. If she doesn't agree, 9 times out of 10, she's a food digger. Now, I ain't saying she's a food digger, but she ain't messing with, oh, we're not gonna go there. We ain't going there. Roland James Garcia says, sometimes I can use good company. I don't mind. Here's my thing with this. I feel as though this is taking advantage of chivalry in a way, because there are levels to courting, I feel like. If you're really interested in someone, then you take them and you court them on the proper dating techniques. You do the proper dating thing. But if it's something where, I mean, let's just be honest here, we're real here. If you just want to hook up with someone, then you're probably just going for drinks. You're probably just going somewhere to go hang out. So I think this is taking advantage of the chivalry aspect of if a man or a woman is trying to court someone and really trying to get to know that person. But to each his own. It varies from person to person. We got time for one more. How much time we got, Dave?
About 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds. Let's go one more. Chris Lewis says, I can never find a good guy. Maybe stop using him for food, Karen.
20 seconds.
Oh, DBL Nation.
Welcome back to DBL. Early this morning, the historic SpaceX launch turned night into day as the world's most powerful rocket lit up the sky. Our own Raquel Villanueva was there to see the action firsthand and sent us this video diary. Yes, Raquel, let's check it out.
2, 1, 0. Hi, DBL Nation. Tonight, the rocket right behind me will launch. It's going to be well worth the wait. The launch was delayed for 3 hours, so there's a bunch of people in the parking lot right now just trying to keep themselves busy. It is an intergalactic space party. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And as soon as the rocket went off, the alligators in the water about a few feet from us all started jumping up at the same time. And then it was just this eerie feeling that came over everyone. There was screaming, there was crying. It was really, really cool. It's the only way I can describe it.
Raquel, she's my hero. I have chills. Good on you, girl.
What about the guys that built the rocket?
Them too, of course. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Now we've seen it all. Naked bungee jumping on The Bachelorette. What won't they do for a little exposure? Then Sylvester Stallone sticker shock. You won't believe what he's charging for a selfie. And he's a rapper, actor, and now sports mogul. Ice Cube tells us all about his pro 3-on-3 basketball league when DBL comes back.
DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. That was really exciting to see that from Raquel. We've been missing her here, but I know she was so excited to be there for that. And she's actually giving us a little more behind the scenes of what really went on, so check it out.
Hi everyone, I want to tell you about the building behind me. It is the Vehicle Assembly Building. It's one of the largest single-story buildings in the world, and that is where they assemble space vehicles. And I guess you can guess why it has to be that high, because you have to fit a lot of tall rockets inside it. And right now the side door's open and we might go get a peek, and I will let you know if we see it. Ever wonder where all the flames go during a rocket launch? Well, I'll show you. It's the flame pit.
But the big cutouts in the back, that's for the solid rocket boosters. The big cutout in the front, that's for your 3 main engines.
So behind behind me is Starship, the prototype of the rocket that will one day take humans to Mars.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
Daily Blast Live
starts right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
3, 2.
Yeah. Thank you, Ice Cube. We have a brand new interview with him coming up in just a minute. Welcome to DBL. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get started. Well, everyone is talking about a moment on The Bachelorette last night. You gotta see this.
1, 2, 3, go.
That's right. Bachelorette Hannah Brown went naked bungee jumping with one of the contestants. Anything for ratings?
Absolutely. Bungee jumping is enough, just doing that. But if I was a contestant on that show, I always say that, and like the guy went bungee jumping with her, I'd be like, dude, what's up? If I was dating somebody and they did that, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing?
But then
That's
again,
not cool.
she is dating multiple people. She has the freedom to do whatever the heck she wants, but I get it. I would be...
But I mean, let's face it, they're naked and it's smashed together. That's very intimate, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, they're doing it, I'm sure, for the show and the ratings.
Well, yeah, it's not for love.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear about that. What? It's not.
If you found out your significant other did this with a past date, not a partner, would it be a problem?
No, because that's their past.
Yeah? You could just put all that away?
Yeah, I could put that away.
Man, I don't want anybody saying they did that with my wife.
What's the difference between them going in the bedroom naked?
Yeah, I was going to say, what about if you're down to 3 guys and you have sex with all 3 guys? I would not be cool with that if she picked me.
But then again, it's her job to try and like.
But I'm saying
the fantasy suite is for her to kind of feel out, right?
Or vice versa for The Bachelor. You use any version you want. But I'm saying, like, I would not be cool with that.
I feel
so if you want to talk about reality, in reality, I would not be cool with that.
But you know what you're signing up for on that show.
Yeah, you're signing up to have 1 million followers when you get done and do interviews on ABC. That's what you're signing up for.
Clear. All right, let's get to this next story. Pamela Anderson is opening up about her love life. The actress posted a photo on Instagram saying she's no longer with her soccer star boyfriend, Adil Rami, but the caption is harsh. It reads in part, "The last 2 years of my life have been a big lie. I was scammed, led to believe we were in love. I'm devastated to find out in the last few days that he was living a double life. He is the monster." Pamela also tagged the National Domestic Violence Hotline in her post. She could be accusing Adil of being abusive during their relationship. She also says he kept her from her close friends and was warned he is not to be trusted.
Well,
I think that eyebrow should tell you everything.
No.
Al, that's
marked
terrible.
Himself. What?
No. You have a woman who's opening up, and yes, you could say that this woman should not be airing her dirty laundry, but this is clearly a woman who feels like that she needs to open up to her followers about something. We don't know all the details, and we only know one side of the story, and there's always 2 sides. But this is someone that's opening up about alleged abuse, and I'm not quick to dismiss that. I'm just not.
See, I'm not sure that she is opening up about alleged abuse, and that's the reason why I have a big problem with this. It's one thing if he is a woman or a two-timer, I should say. But it's something different if you're calling him out for domestic violence. Like, I would like for her to be a little bit more clear about that.
Yes.
Not only that, but honey, your light has not been off for quite some time. Like, her light has been on. Wasn't she the one that ran over to WikiLeaks boy in April?
Yes.
And we all thought that they were in a relationship. So how would you feel about that if you're supposed to be monogamous with someone and they run over to some guy to be their girl or in the time of need? It's like, well, are y'all together exclusively or are you not?
I think by her putting that hotline to domestic violence, and I'm with you, Erica, that in those situations you want to, especially if you have a platform, you want to be a voice for many that don't feel like that they can speak for themselves. But in my opinion, by her putting that there was enough to, and calling him a monster was enough to display to me that this is somebody. And we all know, at least the years that I've been with Dr. Drew as his co-host, when you have an individual separating you from your family or your friends, that is a big red flag.
Right, and I'm with you, and he denied everything, just so you guys know. I'm totally with you, and you might be perfectly right, but I'm also on Erica's side thinking, you better make sure this is what it is before you accuse someone of this, because that man's life could be ruined just from an accusation like that. And she's like, well, I took it out of context. He yelled at me a couple times. Well, that's not what's out on the internet, and that's not what half the people in the world are thinking right now by you putting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you can ruin somebody on social media just by one little accusation that you make. So she better be sure that this happened, and if it did, then yes, I totally agree.
And I agree with you too, Sam. She does have a platform, but like if you have a platform, I don't think it's the place to be placing cryptic messages, like just putting that phone number not without any details. If you do have that platform, you now have a responsibility, just like we have on this panel, to make sure that we report things. So if something did go down, whether if it happened here or it happened in her life,
she doesn't owe that to anybody. That's like her diary. She doesn't owe that to anybody.
You can't make it a public diary.
I understand that. I do, but I also understand that this could be a victim, and I just want to err on the side of caution.
I'm all for victims.
I appreciate that, but when she went a deep dive into what he said to her about his teammates and the idea that they would hide women next to where the wife stayed, like all of those details seem like she's describing someone who isn't faithful, which is different than describing someone who is abusive.
Yeah. All right. So you guys want some clarity? Perhaps we'll hear it, and we'll keep you updated on that story.
Perfect.
Right now, a Connecticut mom is making headlines after going missing a month ago. Jennifer Dulos is a mom of 5. Now her husband's lawyer is suggesting she staged her own disappearance, saying she had, quote, the imagination, means, and motive to disappear. He says Jennifer wrote a novel similar to Gone Girl, and in that novel, a wife stages her own disappearance to frame her husband for murder. A spokeswoman for Jennifer's family says this is, quote, false and irresponsible, and says evidence shows Jennifer was the victim of a violent attack. Investigators say her husband's DNA was found mixed with Jennifer's blood in their home, and that there was blood splatter and cleanup attempts. Jennifer's husband and his girlfriend were arrested and charged in connection with Jennifer's disappearance. See, this is where, listen, I know this is all alleged, but I really dug deep into this story. It seems like that this husband and the girlfriend really met up with some low-life lawyer who concocted this horrible defense story to re-victimize a victim in hopes to get his clients off. When do you not have any sort of conscience?
Well, there's no conscience because there's a lot of money involved. Like, that's what they sold their souls for.
Yeah.
It was about the money.
Right.
So, yeah, anytime there's a lot of money involved, I don't know.
This poor
people look
woman.
the other way.
Right. I mean, but again, Jeff, what do we guys talk about? Planting just a little bit of seed of doubt. All you need to do is get one juror. Now you throw this out there, especially in this world of flat earthers and anti-vaxxers in terms of conspiracy people. Somebody be like, this is just like a movie I saw. All you need is one juror, and you plant that seed right now.
She saw Gone Girl, and she wanted to be like that.
Or she wrote it.
Right.
Yeah, and so like, I don't know. I mean, it's
terrible.
It's a really shady but good move on the defense's part.
Terrible. All right, we're switching gears here. If you see a celebrity on the street, maybe you can get them to snap a selfie with you. But could you imagine paying over $500 for a photo? That's what a company is charging for photographs with Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Mel Gibson. A group called An Experience With is hosting events with all 3 stars and selling some expensive photo packages. So can you think of anyone you would shell out that kind of money for? Erica, anybody?
Yeah. Michelle Obama.
I knew it. Yes, and it is so worth it, right, girl?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You guys had your moment, your conversation. She inspired you. I'm sure you inspired her.
Yeah. I chalked it up to continuing education.
There you go.
That's how we're
Good for you.
Tax write-off.
utilizing it. Taxes.
There you go.
What about you? Anybody?
Never.
Anybody? Not
Never.
Gary Busey?
Are you crazy? No way.
You love
$500 to
him.
take a picture with somebody so I could show my friends
The
how
Biebs?
cool I am? No.
What about dinner with the Biebs?
Can we split it?
What about you, Al?
No, I don't. I think it just throws the power dynamic off.
Yes.
It would be so weird.
And those three
I would know
guys,
yeah.
what are they doing? It makes their careers like diminish a little bit.
Right, yeah.
What are you doing for $500?
Maybe
I get
they're
like
really high expensive.
I get sports like memorabilia because you're getting that and you could resell that memorabilia, so you're paying to get autographs with like Dick Butkus. They've been doing this for forever. You know what I mean? But those guys don't have another outlet. They can't play ball anymore. These guys are making what?
You are such a Chicago guy, Dick Butkus.
We got one more story they want us to get in quickly. One more story.
Oh, sorry.
One bride
My
is
explanation
taking
stunk.
the term. One bride is taking the term bridezilla to a whole new level. According to the story posted on Reddit, one bride tried to scam her bridesmaids. She told them she would pay for everyone's dresses and alterations, and they could pay her back in installments. But she told the women the total was $400 when it was only $200. One bridesmaid found out the real total when she saw a bill, confronted the bride. What's crazier, 2 bridesmaids still stayed in the wedding party after all.
They were probably blood
stealing.
related, that's why.
Yeah, that's stealing. I'm not okay with this at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's super shady, but again, what Jeff always talks about, when you start introducing money and mix it with love, this is what you get. You get capitalism. If this
No,
was just,
that's
if
not
these are-
capitalism.
No, I'm not saying
Nope.
it's. If these people just got married in the forest from true love, just in the woods,
okay,
we would not be dealing with this. But when you start talking about marriage, you start talking about dance halls and photographer packages and food.
Then be real with your bridal party and say, hey, I'm strapped for cash. I need
this
some
sounds
help.
like I'm broke and I need to pay for this.
Yeah, no, this is not okay because you're
I'm not saying it's
also,
okay.
But you're also talking about a bridal party. Half of them were in college and the other half had just graduated, which means they didn't have the money themselves, and they're trying to extend themselves in order to be in your wedding, your special day. Had that been me, I would have left the money with her because she could have it, because I think the best way to solve a problem or know that you really have learned a lesson is to lose some money, and I would be okay with that $400 to lose her too.
And you hate thieves. You
I hate
them.
it. I hate
What would you do?
That would just tell me what kind of person I'm dealing with for the rest of my life.
Would you just peace out right
yeah,
then and
it's
there?
like I'm going to quote the Bronx Tale. Remember when Colangio's running after that guy for $20, and Sonny's like, "Listen, why are you chasing him? For $20, he's out of your life. You get off cheap. $200, here's $400. You're done. No more presents, no wedding gift.
Bye.
Beat it."
I love him.
Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, rapper and actor Ice Cube tells us all about his exciting basketball league that puts former pros front and center. But first, the most common white lies your parents told you growing up. Don't miss the hilarious new segment coming up next.
We're about to have a
Quiz
football
me.
quiz on Sam.
He says I don't know any football players' names.
Sam, can you name one current running back
Oh,
in the
current?
NFL? Yes.
I thought you were going to say back when I was.
No, you can't
a fan
change the
of
question to
Niners.
what you want.
Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and that's about it.
There's a very Bay Area centric.
When I grew up in the Bay Area, that's when I knew.
Who was your running back at UCLA when you played? Do you remember?
No.
Was it Maurice Jones-Drew?
She has no idea.
I have no idea.
It might have. Yeah, I don't know what.
No
what
idea.
era that was.
Oh wait,
I mean, you had some good players.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yes. He's a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
For the Eagles.
Boom.
Yeah. He's still playing.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
He
He's a
dated
wide
the
receiver.
swimmers too. He dated the
He
swimmers.
dated swimmers?
Yeah, he dated swimmers.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a story there that shouldn't go out on the air.
Very good.
All right, Sam. What about, can you name any current basketball players besides no one on the Golden State Warriors and not LeBron?
Kevin Durant.
He's on Golden State.
I know he is. That's my team.
I said you can't name any.
Which team? Give me a team.
Any
guy who
just
won the
MVP. Yeah, let's say Houston.
Houston. Houston, we have a problem.
What about Boston?
I would rather just name players.
Okay, why don't you do that for us?
You can't name one Boston Celtics.
No, she only
I
knows Golden State.
I said Kevin Durant.
Name from all of
I
history.
said what?
From all of history.
She's gonna get
one
Michael
Boston Celtics.
Oh, from Boston Celtics?
Yeah, from all of history.
Larry Bird.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Boom, boom, boom.
I was like, if you don't get Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Who else? Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Which
Tristan.
guy?
Tristan.
James Harden.
He's on the
James
Cavs.
Harden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harden.
Yeah. There's been a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Carlos
I wonder what they all have in
Boozer.
common. That's so
That's
strange.
one. Carlos Boozer. Welcome back to DBL. Twitter users are going off about little fibs parents told them as kids, whether it was for their own amusement or just made life a little easier. Here are some lies your parents might have told you. Here we go. First up, on the way back, we can buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you use that one with your kids?
Yes, because they have memories like goldfish. Yeah, they're not going to remember.
They're not going to remember. Hey, I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I do remember my parents
You just can't
telling
walk
me that.
past that display again. You got to go around.
Yes, you do. You better. When you're 18, you can do whatever, but then you turn 18, and if you're still living at home, it turns into while you're under this roof, you do as I say.
Yeah, you got to move out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm all with this one. This one I agree with.
But when my parents come over, it's my roof.
Oh.
Comes right back. All right. All right, Jeff, appreciate high school. Those were the best years of your life. Ew.
I don't know if, you know what, when you say that about school, you just say that you don't really have responsibilities or work at that time. Once you start getting a little bit older into college, you got to start getting your jobs and things like that, and life kicks in. So I don't think that necessarily means, yes,
Less
high school.
responsibility.
I would say grade school if you're going to use that.
I think high school traumatizes people. I think it's a lot of,
No
a lot
thanks.
of bullying, a lot of self-doubt.
High school really prepares you for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Well said. All right, what about this one, Erica? You'll understand when you're older.
Yeah, I still don't understand.
Roosevelt ever say that to you?
No.
He just tells you.
No, he'd be like, what? That don't make sense to you? You gotta use your common sense.
All right, what about this one, Jeff? Geometry is important.
I'm not sure about geometry, but math is very important, I think.
When?
It's money. Our whole currency is based on money. What are you talking about?
Well, you get an app on your phone and put your salary in.
No.
You're going to get taken advantage of if you don't know how to add.
What kind of math are you doing?
You need to know.
You need to know percentages.
Do you guys know how to
what
divide
to tip?
fractions? Because I'm out.
Yeah, I love dividing
Not
fractions.
divide, like multiply. I can't multiply or divide. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And you're already out. That's like 5th grade.
That's true.
So you're out of there.
All right. Basic math is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
Basic.
finally, it's illegal to turn the light on in your car.
Yeah, what is that?
I've never heard that
I've
before.
heard that still to this day. My husband doesn't let me turn on the light to
Yeah,
like do my
that's
makeup in
super
the
old
mirror.
school, yeah.
Because
I've
that's
never heard
illegal.
that.
I wonder if it is. It's not?
Apparently it's not.
My dad used to say that would get you pulled over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, another
I think
thing,
it does.
and now I feel super dumb since all of my friends have kids, the silver dollar on the belly button.
What?
I thought my parents told me that or my mom, you put the silver dollar on the baby's belly button so that the belly will have a innie, not an outie. That is not true.
Oh.
I've been giving people silver dollars.
So put the dollar on the belly button?
Yeah, you put it with surgical
You do that with
tape,
your
and then you
kids?
put a
I've never heard
cross,
that.
I never did that
so that God knows.
I don't know if this is
Silver
true, but every older black man swore if you put batteries in the freezer, they came back to life.
I still
My
put batteries
dad
in the freezer.
swore on that to the day he died.
I still
that
put
was
batteries.
a thing. Did your parents say that?
They're good.
No.
There were always
Yes.
batteries
I
in our
heard of
freezer.
shaking them.
Shaking?
Yeah.
Do shaking them work?
No.
Oh, I still shake them to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you
How's that
ever
working
lift
out
the
for you?
double one and get like a shock?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That's crazy. What?
That's crazy.
What?
You never did those?
No, I
Did you
didn't
ever
know you
smell your
could.
markers?
Yes,
Okay,
I loved. And glue.
Markers, glue, and gas. That was my thing.
Oh my God.
I'm with you on the gas.
All right, out of time.
I always.
Oh man.
Coming up on DBL, rapper Ice Cube is making a name for himself in pro sports. Learn all about his Big Three basketball league coming up next.
what did you just learn here at DBL? I just learned that Al and Sam used to sniff glue as kids. Never a dull day here at Daily Blast Live. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Of course you are. It's DBL. You love it. It's the way you start your Tuesdays off, or the middle of your Tuesdays. So let's get to more of some of you all's comments. You've been writing in throughout the entire show. We absolutely love it. Let's just hear what you all have to say. Roger Diaz, watching in Houston, says, Foodie calls seem fair considering what some men expect after a date. Still talking about the Foodie calls. Eric Parker, watching in the ATL, says, yeah, we don't want to be used. She should at least pick up the tip. Still talking about the Foodie calls. I think this is one of the coolest fifth hosts we've had in the 10 months I've been here. Everyone's writing in, and it's absolutely crazy. Michael Loveland is talking about Raquel Villanueva being at the SpaceX launch. He says, those were bubbles. Show me the jumping gators. Oh, calling out Raquel, huh? Calling out Raquel. Raquel, show him the gators. Vote the Count says, good to see rockets blasting off from the Cape again. It's awesome. Keep watching and watch Raquel's IG story and her social media story so you can see the her entire journey. Now we have chatting.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, the NBA Finals are sadly over, but basketball continues in the Big Three. I was lucky enough to sit down with Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and my boy, yeah, I called him my boy, rapper Ice Cube, to talk about the league. One of Ice Cube's most iconic songs and Drake's behavior during games was a subject of discussion. So with that said, I hate you guys. Let's talk with today's Chatting with the Stars.
Big Three. Yeah, Big Three, come on.
Coach Lieberman and Ice Cube, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Now let's get right to these questions because I have a bunch of them. Coach, you know that the guy next to you has bragged in his song about getting a triple-double.
Get me on the court and I'm
against people. How would you shut down Ice Cube?
I would not let him in the building, so he would have no opportunity to have a triple-double. I'd make him stay home on date night with his wife, Kimberly.
What do you think about Drake's behavior during the playoffs? Like, calling attention to himself, and he touched Nick Nurse. I mean, what would you do if Drake is touching your shoulders during the game?
It's not too many things that guys like us fan out about, you know, and Drake, he's a fan, his team, first time winning the championship. You should have saw how I acted the first time the Lakers won the championship. You know, I would have got arrested.
All right, I love it. I love it. Now, Ice Cube, you've been around every A-list, B-list celebrity there is. Can you tell us the best celebrity basketball players?
Oh, man, Snoop was pretty good. The Game is great. Flex from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, even Jaleel White. My man Urkel got game.
If a viewer is saying, hey, I've watched 5-on-5 my whole life, never watched 3-on-3 basketball played professionally, what could you tell that viewer in terms of like what they can expect from this upcoming season?
A lot of people have watched 5-on-5, but most people play 3-on-3.
That's true.
You know, 3-on-3 is the game of the neighborhood. If you love basketball, come see a pure form of basketball in the Big Three.
These games are serious. These guys go at it. Were you guys surprised at the level of competition? And sometimes, I mean, those teams, they're not friendly with each other. I kind of like it. I like the competition.
There's some unfinished business. These guys are physical. They have a lot of pride, and they're going at it because there's a lot of money, and there's a championship at stake, and we're wired to win.
I appreciate you guys. Come back, see us anytime. Can't wait for the season. And you guys, our fans, remember, watch Big Three games this weekend. It begins. Can't wait. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray, and today I want to give you guys a couple of clean beauty secrets that I learned from the clean beauty icon herself, Rosemary Swift. Now, I was able to pick her brain about herself, her amazing brand, RMS Beauty, and so much more. But today, I want to make sure that I brought back the tips that she gave me for flawless skin and flawless makeup every day. Now, the first one I want to share with you guys is using her beauty oil. Now, I'm not just saying any beauty oil. Her beauty oil is the truth, guys. This oil is what truly gives you an amazing luminous glow in the skin that's not oily, but simply a beautiful luminous finish. All right, y'all? Now, with this guy, it has amazing ingredients like jojoba, rosehip, and even ashwagandha oil, which is amazing for healing benefits. This is also going to make sure that the skin has the hydration that it needs to make sure that our makeup glows on flawlessly. Now, with something like this, I like to use about 3 to 4 drops all over my skin, but I've really been using this for a little bit of everything. After I shave, before I do makeup, as my night serum. I mean, it was like rated in the top 10 in Japanese Vogue for the best beauty oil, so I think it can do good for my skin too. You guys gotta try it out though. Let me know how you love it. It's about 3 to 4 drops. So for our next one, this guy is called our Master Mixer. Now, she actually told me that she discovered this product on accident. She was in Japan doing a model, and when she was doing the model's makeup, she accidentally picked this jar up instead of something else. Now, the result it gave her made an amazing product that is legendary now. This guy gives you a beautiful shine, almost like a nice little highlight on the cheekbone, but it almost also perfects the skin in every which way possible. So I typically just do my little beauty oil all over. I'll tap a little bit of this on my cheekbones. Ooh, look at it go right now. Look at that glow, queen. Oh, but you can also use this on your eyes, use a little bit on your lips, and this is a great way to catch the glow onto your skin from beautiful sunlight or for a beautiful nighttime look. Now, you can do this as a base. You can use a little bit on top of your blush. You can even do a little bit on your eye, but make sure that you do just a little bit and not overdoing it. Overdoing it's gonna kill the look, okay guys? Now, last but not least, her Uncover Up is phenomenal. This is a foundation that's coconut base. Her coconut base literally smooths, heals, and saves skin as well. Now, with this guy, once again, you only need a little bit. I'm wearing it today, and I only took a little bit with my fingertips underneath my eye, around my nose, and a little imperfection areas that I just wanted covered up. Now, with this guy, you can use her beautiful unpowder powder as well, and it gives you a flawless finish. Now, you're going to be seeing our interview very soon, and if you haven't already, make sure you click the video for our exclusive interview with Rosemary Swift herself. As always, guys, thank you for joining us today, and make sure that you follow Jeray for the Slay for all of your beauty tips and questions. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. DBL Nation, we gotta hear from you. We want your thoughts on the show, so go to the website on the bottom of the screen and take a short survey. We really do work for you. We call our show, and we're very proud of our show being interactive and informative, and we can't be that show without your input. So please, please, please take the time.
And speaking of working for you, some viewers wrote in and said, yes, I licked the battery, so I got you a battery, a 9 volt.
No.
You just gotta make sure your tongue hits both
Is it
of
hurt?
those.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Does it hurt?
Tell everyone.
You're gonna
tell
get
us.
superpowers.
You gotta put on both. Like,
And was there side effects?
No.
Okay.
Well, we don't know.
Oh yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah, a little zap. Not a big deal.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. You made it sound like you get shocked.
Well, I wouldn't do it if you went shooting through the back wall.
Hey, Erica, do we have any viewer comments?
Yeah, they're all on Foodie. Foodie calls. Erica on Facebook 11 Alive in Atlanta says, yeah, we don't want to be used. She should at least pick up the tip.
Does anybody just stare at Erica's phone case?
Yes.
Will you hold it up, please? It looks like a case.
Don't shame
like you would
phone
find it at
case
the bottom
shame
of a
her.
pirate ship.
I drop it a lot.
Okay,
Don't
clearly.
phone case
I just drop
shame
it.
her.
It's like from Coming to America.
See? We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
guys, it's time for Between the Show with Shuby and
Schroeder.
we're here.
I picked up on that.
And Shobin. I thought you wanted to be in it.
Why do you look so surprised to be on
I didn't know if I was on camera. I'm sorry, I just saw your intro and it surprised me that you were hired. That's why.
Maybe next break.
Yeah, anyway, we're here to talk about Big Brother. Big Brother starts tonight. I know a lot of our viewers are excited. Big Jeff, why don't you tell them who your top pick is now after interviewing them, but then we'll revisit tomorrow after we watch.
Okay, so my pick to win right now is Nick. Nick, I think, is he's
Sneak attack, right?
Yeah, he's really gonna be interesting to watch. He's quick with his tongue. He's not scared to talk back to people, but he's really smart. He works with children. He's a
He's a therapist, right?
Yeah,
Or so he said.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's his real job.
But my favorite,
Lotion whenever you get
my favorite is Sam. After interviewing him, he has 2 kids. He's a truck driver, so he reminded me a lot of myself. I saw in him. He's just a good guy. I think Tommy, is that his name? Tommy. He's a Broadway guy. He's going to be super entertaining. Christine was good. There's another girl from Chicago. I forget her name right now.
Jeff, can I ask you,
A
is
lot
it
of
better to
people
be a
from
Broadway
Staten
guy
Island
if you're
and
going to be
Long
like attracting attention to yourself in the house, or is it better to stay on the low for the first?
Stay on the low for sure.
And just because they are one job, they may come into the house playing a totally different personality than they gave Jeff in the interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They could
because
fake their job.
once all your personalities clash in there, or you get to know someone, your strategy kind of goes out the window. To be perfectly honest.
What was your strategy going in?
Get to know everybody and play it from there.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, DBL Nation, let us know what you think.
Bottom of the hour.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, Jimmy Smits. We have a brand new interview with him coming up in a minute. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, June 25th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get started. Well, it was a very star-studded event. Big names in Hollywood performed a dramatic reading of the Mueller report. John Lithgow portrayed President Trump in a live reading of portions of the 448-page report called The Investigation, A Search for Truth in 10 Acts. Kevin Kline, Jason Alexander, Alyssa Milano were also in it. Annette Bening narrated, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Sigourney Weaver made recorded appearances. Here are some of the highlights.
My God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm The president became angry and lambasted the attorney general for his decision to recuse from the investigation.
If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that.
The framers of the Constitution gave us the tools to handle such an event. They did their job. Robert Mueller did his job. The question is, will we do ours?
The show was live streamed from a theater in New York and was trending on Twitter last night, but many are asking, will the A-list celebs really bring renewed attention to the subject? What do you think, Jeff?
I don't think so. I mean, it's 10 acts. When I saw this yesterday, I thought it was boring, and when I watched it, it was even more boring. I honestly, I don't need a celebrity from my favorite show telling me what kind of party or what side they're on. I don't need to hear that. And obviously, I know what their agenda is. None of them like Trump. They're doing this to make fun of Trump. They all are on the liberal side. I want people to come up with their own opinions, not because you love 30 Rock, not because you love Seinfeld, but because you looked at both parties and you found out what worked for you. I don't want the American people to be bamboozled just because, that was a big word, by the way. That was a big one. Because their favorite celebrities are pulling you this way. I don't like that.
See, that ticks me off because, first of all, I'm in agreement with you. I felt the same way. And that ticks me off because this was put on by LawWorks. LawWorks is known to be bipartisan. LawWorks is known to just push out the truth so us, the constituents, can make educated decisions. And I think where they went wrong was aligning themselves with very liberal actors, because then that turns off those that are going to have a bias towards them. Yeah. And then you're not doing yourself a favor, because then you're not educating yourself on what we all should know about.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. You're just saying it again. 10 acts is way too long. If I'm not interested in any of this, no one
And you
would
were
be interested.
excited about
And
this last
it's
night.
a
You didn't like it?
Not at all.
Wow.
I thought this was a huge
Shocked.
fail. You brought a novel to a Twitter fight. You got to understand, people think in very condensed forms. They don't think in 10 acts with these like haughty voices. That is not at all what's going to reach the audience you're intending. I think it was a huge fail. We just got the numbers in. Only 100,000 people tuned in.
Wow.
Huge
So,
fail.
yeah.
Huge
All right.
fail. So I agree with you.
Dang. All right, well, chime in, DBL Nation. We do want to hear from you. New footage has been released in the Jussie Smollett saga, and we want to warn you it may be disturbing to some. What you're seeing is body cam video put out by Chicago police. It shows the moments after cops arrived at Jussie's apartment following the alleged assault in January. You can see the Empire actor still has the noose around his neck. Listen to his exchange with police.
Do you want to take it off or anything? Yeah, I do. I just wanted y'all to see. 1872, Robert.
Show us transporter, one female official
There's
detention.
bleach on me. They put bleach on me.
Okay.
1870.
They're filming you.
Like audio. I guess when they didn't know they were walking into, I don't want to be filmed. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Jussie said he was the victim of a hate crime, but police say he orchestrated the whole thing. A grand jury eventually indicted him on 16 counts, but the prosecutor, Kim Foxx, later dropped all the charges, prompting a lot of backlash and outrage. However, Jussie is not out of the woods just yet. A special prosecutor is now handling the case, which means, Al, that Jussie could still face charges.
I mean, the city of Chicago was embarrassed by this on a national and international level. And I think what made them doubly as angry is that it's clear that they had some questions about his story. Seeing that weird video just goes along with this weird story, with this weird storyline. Everybody's wondering if I think I speak for most people when I say that we don't think this happened. I don't, at least. That's personally, I can't speak for anybody else. And I think more than anything, we're just wondering why. And if he understands the damage that he's done for people that really are victims of hate crimes, because this will be used for the next 10 years in every bar argument where somebody goes, oh, well, you could be like, you know, you've just given them just an incredible amount of ammunition. So I hope it was worth it.
Well said, Al. I have nothing more to say. I agree. Dame Judi Dench is defending some of the most hated men in Hollywood. The 84-year-old actress is speaking out about Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. In a new interview with UK's Radio Times, Dench says, quote, "You cannot deny somebody a talent." She goes on to say, "Are we just not going to see all those films that Harvey produced? You might as well never look at a Caravaggio painting. You might as well never gone to see Noel Coward." Dench has been critical of Weinstein, becoming one of the first female celebrities to slam him over allegations of sexual assault against a number of women. Weinstein denies the accusations against him. But this has us asking, can you still enjoy art made by disgraced artists? Are you able, Jeff, to separate the art from the individual?
This is a tough one because it's on an individual basis. If a bar is playing Michael Jackson, or someone, if I'm in their car and they're listening to Michael Jackson, or whatever, a Harvey Weinstein movie is on, I'm not going to get mad at that individual. It's their life to do so. Me, myself, I loved Michael Jackson. After that documentary, I can't help but catch myself if it comes on the radio to almost change that radio station. Does it mean I'll never watch a Harvey Weinstein produced movie again? Does it mean if Kevin Spacey's in one of my favorite movies that I'm not going to watch it because he's in there? I don't know if that's true, but I could say everyone could just speak their truth. And if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's the egregiousness of the crime. Like, I can't watch The Cosby Show at all. Like, I just can't see Bill Cosby the same anymore as Dr. Huxtable, and I think a lot of people feel that way. And I can't listen to Michael Jackson's music, but there's art that I enjoy, and they did terrible things. So I'm a hypocrite if I say I separate the art from the artist. It's about the egregiousness and how much information I know. I know a lot about Michael Jackson, and I know a lot about Bill Cosby, and I know the egregiousness in which they did that. So that's what makes it harder. But I'm a hypocrite if I say I blanket all of it.
I think it's important to have the nuance of it, right? I don't think Judi Dench should be criticized for speaking out, saying, listen, I still love these pieces of work, but I also can not condone what Harvey Weinstein did, and I don't think it's fair for people to attack her. I think she's just trying to have a conversation.
I think it's two different conversations really quickly, in that Harvey Weinstein was a producer. When you start talking about Bill Cosby,
the artist,
we were seeing his face and the character he's portraying as this wholesome family guy. So it's going to take you out of this the story whether you want to or not. I think with Harvey Weinstein, you see his name in the credits and then you don't think about him again. So
well
it's a different situation.
Yep. We do, before we go, want to give a big DBL shout out to Sandy Zimmerman, who became the first mom to ever complete the American Ninja Warrior obstacle course. And at 42, she also became the oldest woman to do it. That's according to the show. Check it out.
This is her goal.
She is a badass.
A little poster moment right there.
Wow.
Swinging out,
yeah, that moment
back.
where she turned around when she was still on the thing and pointed to the crowd. Yeah,
I mean, our very own Brandon London, you guys know him. He's not only one of our co-hosts, but he's a former NFL football player. He tried running the course. It was so difficult for a trained athlete to do it. So it just underscores how difficult that course is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Why would
so
we do
kudos to
Brandon
her.
dirty like that?
Yeah, he lost to an 11-year-old.
Poor guy.
No, I just want to underscore her accomplishment,
well,
right?
let's see that 11-year-old come do this panel. I'm defending Brandon.
DBL's live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, our Stephanie Jones sits down with veteran TV actor Jimmy Smits for the first time, and they put their accents on the line. Listen.
Por favor, de un olor.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy.
What's sexier, British English or Spanish? You decide. Then contestants on The Bachelorette take the plunge in the buff. What kind of date is this? And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Forget the booty call. Now there's the foodie call. Hungry singles are going on dates, not for romance, but for the free food. Your comments coming up next.
Here with the DBL digital team. So one thing our hosts don't know, I actually watched The Bachelorette last night, is one of the guys on The Bachelorette, one of the other guys that's her boyfriend, I guess you could consider them all her boyfriends at this point, he was really, really mad about the naked bungee jumping. So we're going to get into that. Also, DBL Nation, do you say naked or naked? I say naked, but let me know what you say, because a lot of people say it different. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey. What? I was just about to say how I'm never going on social media.
People writing in, Michael Loveland says last night's ANW American Ninja Warrior was epic. And by the way, I want to give a shout out. Bernard Huff watched the live stream of the Mueller report and was on the edge of his seat. Good for you, man. I was not there. I read it. I just thought this was a scroll when life is in 2-second sound bites. This was the wrong decision. It played off wrong. It looked hoity-toity. It looked erudite. It looked elitist. It was just wrong on all accounts, in my opinion, the play.
Well, how do you know, because I think we know most Americans are not going to read it,
Right.
including everybody that I'm
Make an
talking.
animation. Think about it.
But also, most Americans can't understand it. And I'm not putting Americans out.
No.
However, they said if you don't have a certain level
That's
of
the whole point. And
political education
and just
or something,
to double
you
down on
don't,
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a contract? I consider
I can't
myself
read it
a
all.
very smart man.
Yeah.
It's like the
Forget it.
proprietor, out.
Thus, henceforth,
Well,
this.
yeah, from this date on, I'm
So
like,
why
in
not
perpetuity.
make-
If you ever see In Perpetuity, that's a big one.
That's
Yeah.
a
That's a big one.
Bamboozled is also a big one. But I will say that, like, the idea of doing it in a 10-act play, someone once said, the Bill Barr, who made all of Mueller report into 4 pages, was the smartest guy because he turned it into a shorter, condensed version. Make an animation on Twitter. Make it go viral.
You know who
Have it
did
on
that?
BuzzFeed.
You know who
Have
did
it
that?
explained.
You know who could knock this out? South Park. They did it with Scientology. They explained Scientology in 22 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I think South Park could do this, and
Somebody
they
make
would
an
have the
animation.
leeway
That is-
because they're cartoons.
Yeah.
I think,
That's a brilliant
and
idea.
I think people would then watch it because it's not going to be because no one's going to watch 10 acts.
Who's gonna watch 10X of Annette Bening? I love her, but I'm not.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. 1/3 of women in a new survey admitted to going out on a date just for a free meal.
Whoa.
It's called a foodie call. That's when a person books a date with someone who they aren't interested in just to eat for free. Researchers say that although their study focused on straight women, men are likely no stranger to this concept either. So DBL Nation, are foodie calls okay? Take it away, Al.
All right, before we get started, Sam, my Aunt Mina's watching in Cleveland. She said I look sharp today. Love you, Aunt Mina.
Yeah.
I'll be be home next week. And with that said, Mar from Facebook says, yeah, I'll take a free meal, especially if I know his true motive is sex, not a relationship. Ooh. Wow, so she's turning the tables. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when you go out on a date, I just want both parties to genuinely give it a chance. If you're going out just for food, I kind of got a problem with that. I feel like just ask me for the money.
Yeah, Aunt Mina, let me know how you think I look. Layla from Facebook says, I had a friend who regularly used a guy for free drinks and meals. I knew she was not into him and I felt bad because he was really sweet. I treated him to lunch and told him, and now we're engaged. That's an awesome story. That's really great. Mazel tov. Look, if you have zero interest, I have a problem. But if there's any possibility of like a 10% spark, it might hit it off. I think it's okay because I think a meal is part of dating and interviewing and learning to know someone.
I think most guys would just be like, don't go out with me with a 10% chance. I don't want that.
Is it better than not going on the date?
Yes, it's better than not.
But you don't know.
I don't like
Sometimes you
10%
don't. She didn't know. She honestly did not see her husband as her husband until one moment a light bulb went off.
But you thought he was attractive.
Oh yeah, but I never thought of him in that way. And then when one girl took him out the next day, I was like, you're mine. So it can change in an instant.
Became a territory
thing. So it went from 10% to 100?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jeff. Take the next comment.
All right, Jennifer from Facebook says, that's a terrible thing to do. Why would you do this to someone? Anyone who would do this clearly gets off on using people. I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle here. Isn't that dating? You kind of go out and see what you're doing. I'm going to pose a question here. I'm just saying, a friend is asking, whatever. I'm just trying to cover my bases here. If you ordered, because if you say something, you're like, what are you mansplaining me for, Jeff? Whatever. So it's like,
what?
Let me just pose a question and you'll see why.
Okay.
If I took you out and you weren't interested and you ordered like lobster and steak and a nice bottle of champagne, are you portraying to me that something else is going on? What am I supposed to expect if you do that?
Oh, so
see what I'm posing?
Okay, so
now you see why I'm covering my bases?
So if I order a lot of food
Let's have a real conversation.
If I order the fancy food and the fancy champagne, that means that
and an appetizer.
And an appetizer that perhaps you're going to get something later on.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying
I'm just saying you intimating.
I don't think that's right. On both sides. I don't think the one person should expect sexual activity. I also don't think that one person should charge up a whole bill. That's not cool.
I don't want to have any sexual activity. What am I, a bomb? Wow, Sam. Take all the
I'm just trying to be
joy out of
on
it. Yeah,
TV.
you did it.
That's good.
Okay,
I wanted an answer.
All right, let me get to
physician.
Devin from Facebook says, if a man asks out a woman, she has a right to say sure, even if she's not physically attracted to him. Maybe the guy just wants company and a chance to convince her that he's the one. I'm right there with you. I'm guilty of this once and only once when I was in college. I was starving. I was poor. Literally had no money after I lost my swimming scholarship. So yeah, when a really nice gentleman asked me out for lunch, I said yes. It didn't mean that I was. It was a burrito. It was a Mexican restaurant.
Did you have seafood in it?
No, it was a burrito. Okay. But it didn't mean I wasn't open to fireworks perhaps happening.
And he was a nice guy and you had a good time.
Because everyone goes on lunch dates.
Fireworks with a nice gentleman.
Hey,
what year did you go on this date? 1890?
Sometimes you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, pretty lady, you want to go for a burrito at lunch?
What's wrong with that?
There's my future wife right there.
Maybe this person Hey, maybe that person didn't have a lot of money either. Come on now. We were in
You
college.
can have a burrito at dinner, too.
Okay. Well,
hey, pretty lady. That was my favorite part.
Coming up on DBL, it'll cost fans a pretty penny to get their picture taken with Sylvester Stallone. Is the price fair or is he overcharging? But first, longtime TV actor Jimmy Smits chats with our Steph Jones and tells us all about his favorite death scene. We will be right back.
The Sun.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories, and I've got a really good trending story for you right now. Amazon Prime Day is coming. January, and by January, I don't mean January at all. I mean July. July 15th and July 16th. You heard that right. It's going to be on 2 days this year. So last year, it was 36 hours long. This year, they decided to extend it to 48 hours. Amazon promises that they will have hundreds of millions of deals. That seems like a lot. 100 million people around the world have the Prime subscription. So you do have to have the Prime subscription to be able to do the Amazon Prime Day. Most people who use Amazon do have Prime, Prime. I actually don't because my boyfriend has Prime, so why would I pay for it if he does? But anyway, let us know, do you shop on Amazon Prime Day? Do you even maybe get a little Christmas shopping done? Christmas is exactly 6 months away from today. I know Jeff's excited about that. So yeah, get some of your Christmas shopping done and get those great deals on things like an Instant Pot, the Ninja Foodie, you know, gadgets that are usually really expensive, but on Amazon Prime Day, they're a little cheaper. Anyway, DBL Nation, let us know if you'll be shopping on July 15th and 16th, and write us in and let us know what you're eyeing. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. For the past 30 years, Jimmy Smits has been entertaining audiences on TV, in movies, and on stage. He returns to primetime in Bluff City Law. So I sat down with the actor to talk about the new legal drama and much more at Denver's Series Fest. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
All right, Jimmy, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Good to be here with you.
We're going to talk to you about something not so nice, about the fact that you're always getting killed off in everything, love.
Do you think that?
Oh, Miami Vice, you died in the pilot.
Yes.
NYPD, your character was killed off.
True.
Star Wars, What was your favorite death?
I actually like the Miami Vice going out because just before the character got blown up, Thomas said, why don't you turn around and smile at Crockett, who's Donald Johnson's character, like not a care in the world. And he was so right on with that particular moment.
And in that moment, it was all over.
Boom.
It was off. All right, talk about Buff City Law, your new show. So in it, you play a prominent lawyer who teams up with his estranged daughter to change the world.
Change the world.
Change the world. That's a pretty big statement, right? How are you going to change the world in this series? Tell me.
You know, the law, the whole area of the law is something that's very aspirational in a lot of ways.
Everyone likes to talk about how this kind of work is rewarding, but if you lose, it destroys you.
It deals with subjects that talk about what the best of our society could possibly be, and the people who champion causes.
Yeah.
It is a father and daughter story at its center.
We're total opposites. You're conservative. I wage war.
Our differences could be our strength.
You can't just silence the truth. There will be order.
Disregard for review. That was brilliant in there.
Right, so Spanish is meant to be the language itself. It's very nice, it's very romantic, it's very poetic, isn't it?
That's
you
what
can
you're
tell
saying.
I've got a bit of a gripe against this because the Queen's English, in my opinion, sounds much better.
Does it?
So I want to find out once and for all.
Once and for all.
Which one is the most romantic or sexy language? How would you say, smell this dirty T-shirt?
Por favor, de un olor a esa camisilla.
Okay, you're definitely winning. Go on, hit me while I just calm myself down from that.
I'm very tired, please leave me alone.
I'm bloody knackered. Will you bugger off?
Say it again.
I'm bloody knackered. Will
Knackered.
You... Knackered. I'm knackered, darling. I'm ready for a nap. Will you bugger off?
I really like that. I'm bloody knackered.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy. I'm in need of a kip, lad. Okay, right, are you ready? Oh, now I want you to tell me how you'd say this.
Okay.
Dennis France's butt was the best part of NYPD Blue.
La arquitectura del cuerpo del posterior de Dennis France es una maravilla.
I appreciate the movement as
The
well.
movement.
That made it. That made it. Jimmy, you've been absolutely amazing.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy Denver.
Thank you, love. And
Be
you
nice
too.
to her.
You can catch Bluff City Laws starting September the 23rd on NBC. And DBL Nation, very important, we want to hear from you. We want your thoughts and opinions on our show. So go to the website on the bottom of the screen and take a short survey, very important. And coming up on DBL, the Bachelorette contestants take the naked plunge literally. Why they are bungee jumping without clothes, only God knows. And also jumping alligators and space parties. Our very own Raquel Villanueva gives you an out-of-this-world look at the latest SpaceX launch.
What's up, guys? We are back. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Jimmy Smits. I'm old enough to remember when he was on LA Law.
Dude, I like that guy. He was on Sons of Anarchy, which I love, and Dexter, which I love.
Jeff, can I just tell you something that happened today that was very disturbing?
What?
I was talking to our producer, Lexi, and she told me she graduated high school in 2013.
And just do
I know. I felt like one of those trees that walk.
Yeah, did you hear that?
In Lord of the Rings,
You're
that's how old I felt.
You're an ent.
Yes.
Like she graduated. So one of our. Oh, you graduated in what year? High school.
2008.
Oh God.
Still
So
a
one of
little
our
better.
coworkers, it's way better, graduated high school in 2013, and I almost threw up in my mouth. Like I almost threw up in my mouth, for real. I got married in 2013.
You got married? Oh, I thought it was the summer of '69.
No, you're way older than me.
I'm not.
You're way
And wait till you
older.
turn 40 because we're gonna need a therapist in here on call, like down the hall.
Because of all the trash talk I'm getting.
I think your 40th is going to be at the
Yes.
doctor's office.
Yes.
I think I'm going to be an amazing 40. Look at me.
Wow. That was pumping yourself up.
Yeah,
I can do this. I can do this.
Come on, Tori. Come on. You can do this. By the way, we want to give a shout out to Shirley DeBose Taft, who made your eclair cake for a gender reveal.
Ooh.
I made Jeff's chocolate cake, eclair cake for our baby reveal party. It was
No
all
way.
gone. I didn't even get to taste it, but he should tell his mom thanks because it was a hit.
Oh, it was. And guess who else is making it right now?
Who?
Bert's wife.
Lynn?
Yeah,
Lynn's such
Liz-
a good cook. Really?
Yeah, they're making it right now. Dude, so many people, even the people, I know, like, when you cook something on a show, everyone's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then when it's done, they're like, you know, like, we got done, and they were like, honestly, this is the best. And it's
How
like
is it
so
only
simple.
4 ingredients?
Well, I made it just 4. You could put, like, whipped cream. Here's, like, a little added one, actually, because I
What are the 4 ingredients? Tell me.
graham crackers,
Okay.
instant pudding,
Oh, okay.
chocolate,
I'm in.
graham crackers, instant pudding, chocolate. What else do you put in there?
Whipped cream? Cream?
No, whipped cream you put in there, but why did I say it's only
Sugar?
4 ingredients?
Eggs?
Oh, I guess the sugar is because or milk, because you gotta
Milk, the
make the
milk.
pudding. There's 2 steps to the pudding. Yeah, so milk. But you could also put whipped cream
And that's it?
in the pudding to make it a little lighter, because I called my dad and mom yesterday, my mom and dad yesterday, and in the back my dad's like, you forgot the whipped cream.
That's such a dad thing to say.
I was like,
what a dad thing to
Jeff,
say.
Michael has an update for you.
All right, sorry.
Anyway, let us know your favorite cake and how many ingredients there are, because I want the fewest amount of ingredients for me.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier this morning, the historic SpaceX launch turned into night as the world's, or turned the night into day as the world's most powerful rocket lit up the sky. Our own Raquel Villanueva was there to see the action firsthand and sent us this video diary. Check it out.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, DBL Nation. Tonight, the rocket right behind me will launch. It's going to be well worth the wait. The launch was delayed for 3 hours, so there's a bunch of people in the parking lot right now just trying to keep themselves busy. It is an intergalactic space party. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And as soon as the rocket went off, the alligators in the water about a few feet from us all started jumping up at the same time. And then it was just this eerie feeling that came over everyone. There was screaming, there was crying. It was really, really cool. It's the only way I can describe it.
Oh, to see the alligators jump up? That was crazy.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
How about the rocket? That was pretty cool.
Of course.
So back to the gators.
So back to those gators.
All right, we'll be right back.
DBL Nation, we are so glad Raquel will be back with us tomorrow, but we know she's had a great time in Florida getting to see that SpaceX rocket launch, and it is one of the biggest launches they've done to date. She sent us a behind-the-scenes video of her experiences there. Take a look.
Hi everyone, I want to tell you about the building behind me. It is the Vehicle Assembly Building. It's one of the largest single-story buildings in the world, and that is where they assemble space vehicles, and I guess you can guess why it has to be that high, because you have to fit a lot of tall rockets inside it. And right now the side door's open and we might go get a peek, and I will let you know if we see it. Ever wonder where all the flames go during a rocket launch? Well, I'll show you. It's the flame pit.
But the big cutouts in the back, that's for the solid rocket boosters. The big cutout in the front, that's for your 3 main engines.
So behind me is Starship, the prototype of the rocket that will one day take humans to Mars.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
3, 2.
Yes, you tell them, Ice Cube and Nancy Lieberman. We have a brand new interview with them coming up in just a minute. Welcome to DBL. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. So let's get started. The internet is on fire over the Bachelorette last night. You have to see this.
1, 2, 3, go.
That's right. Bachelorette Hannah Brown went naked bungee jumping with one of the contestants. Anything for ratings, Jeff? Or maybe they sincerely wanted a naked bungee jump.
I think bungee jumping is enough. You know what I mean? Like, you're always going to share that bond.
You've done it, right?
Yeah, but not like
naked.
Well, I haven't done it naked. No, but I don't understand this thing with just bungee jump. That'll bond you. Why do you have to do it naked?
I kind of have to. This is a weird show for me, but I have to agree with you. I think in like this era too, just like naked bungee jumping with a bunch of people is just like too much. It's like I don't need it.
Well, it's the producers trying so hard to get eyeballs, to get people talking about it. And then think about the other. You would be turned off as a contestant.
If I was another contestant, I'm like, what'd you guys do? And they're like, I went naked bungee jumping. I'd be like, I don't want to. What do you mean you want to go out and have a private date? I don't know. I don't get the whole show. It's kind of weird to me.
And this is coming from a reality star
who married his
person
that's
on reality.
But it wasn't jammed down my throat.
Right.
It happened naturally.
So on Big Brother, is there? I know that you.
If Jordan went naked bungee jumping with someone else while I was on the show with her, we probably wouldn't have been together.
Wow. And I think it's important to note that you being on Big Brother, you married your wife on Big Brother. You guys have been together how many years?
10 years this year.
So are you guys
we met 10 years ago.
Are you guys more successful than The Bachelorette and The Bachelor?
No. No, they get off the show and they have 1 million followers like that.
No, I mean success in romance and love.
You guys have more marriages, Big Brother.
Oh, you mean the shows?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the individuals, why they go on
the
there.
show.
Oh, the show? I think we might have more children and marriages than they do.
I like that.
Someone has to do the numbers, but I think we do.
Maybe because it's not
do you think
forced.
the interactions are more organic? Do you think that's what it is? Because that thing you said Jordan said to you, I thought that was really cool. When she said, I'll be your friend. I thought that was really awesome.
I mean, now it seems like there's 3 couples that come off every show. It's pretty weird. We can move on after this. But when I went on for the first time, I didn't even know what a showmance was.
No.
My buddy's like, hey, say you want to be the showman. It was a long time ago.
Much more organic, though.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. So,
I like that.
Yeah, ours came from a real place. Yeah.
I love it.
I did not marry the girl I went on blind date with.
Wow. Didn't work out?
No,
surprise,
shocking.
surprise.
Shocking.
Let's get to this next story. Pamela Anderson is opening up about her love life. The actress posted a photo on Instagram saying she's no longer with her soccer star boyfriend, Adil Rami, but the caption is pretty harsh. It reads in part, the last 2 years of my life have been a big lie. I was scammed, led to believe we were in love. I'm devastated to find out in the last few days that he was living a double life. He is a monster. Pamela also tagged the National Domestic Violence Hotline in her post. She could be accusing Adil of being abusive during the relationship, considering that she tagged that hotline. She also says that he kept her from her close friends and was warned by many that he is not to be trusted. Now Adele is disputing her allegations, saying he wasn't living a double life and that her accusations are a total lie. What do you make of this story?
You're going to be interested in this. I don't like this. I think you can't mess with. Are you saying he hit you? Are you not saying he hit you? The domestic hotline, what are you saying? You can't have subtleties when it comes to this because you're throwing a whole human being under the bus. So either say it, make it clear, take action, go to court, or be quiet about it.
I think this is the problem with social media today, and because I see this on both sides. I see a victim allegedly, but I'm going to take her for her word as of now. And I know there's 2 sides to every story, and then there's the truth, but I see a victim here, and social media, we view it as a diary today, right? So anything can be said on social media, and we do have a connection. A lot of these celebrities have a connection with their fans. We have a huge connection with our viewers. So perhaps she felt that was her only place where she could be cathartic. I get where you're saying that you got to be crystal clear when you make such accusations, but I don't think social media is crystal clear today.
Then don't do it on social media.
My thing, and Jeff, I want to get your reaction to this. What I took from her statement, she says, I figured out in the last few days he's not who. So like in the last few days did he hit you, or was this something that was going on and now you just figured this out?
We don't know if she was ever hit.
Allegedly. Like that's the thing. It's so cryptic.
That's what's
that
wrong with
when
it,
you put something like that out there, what else are you going to read into?
Right.
Now maybe it is emotional abuse, which is abuse and does have a lot of consequences. But like when you put that out there, that's a big deal, and that's why Jeff, you always say with the social media, we can't just treat it like the Wild Wild West because you're talking about people's last name, their livelihood, their everything about them, and it's like when you put that out there, how can you think anything else?
Yeah, I think we're taking crazy pills because this is like the 3rd story I agreed with Tori on.
What?
This is crazy. But you can't. Social media is crazy. It sounds to me, and again, I don't know what happened, so don't jump down my throat.
No one does, Jeff. Yeah.
It sounds to me like he got caught cheating.
That's what it sounds.
And now she's putting that thing out there, which is huge, saying there's some sort of abuse out there. There may have been abuse, and there may have been abuse, but there may not have. It's too cryptic for me to find out. But this man's life is on the line here, so to speak, because half the people, the millions of followers Pamela Anderson has, they won't read the second part of this story. They're going to see this, and it's clickbait, and they're going to be like, oh man, that guy's soccer team that used to beat up Pamela Anderson, that's what it turns into. People don't read the story.
That's a great point. To end this story, and we'll get to the next story, we have to be responsible consumers.
Yes,
we can't just share an article. We can't just share something salacious and clickbaity. We got to have nuanced conversations. I know this is just a topic about celebrities, but it's a lot deeper than that, and it impacts a lot of people's lives. So I'm glad on this show that we can have those type of conversations. Right now, a Connecticut mom is making headlines after going missing a month ago. Jennifer Doulos is a mom of 5. Now her husband's lawyer is suggesting she staged her own disappearance, saying she had, quote, the imagination, means, and motive to disappear. Wow. He says Jennifer wrote a novel similar similar to Gone Girl. In that novel, a wife stages her own disappearance to frame her husband for murder. A spokeswoman for Jennifer's family says this is, quote, false and irresponsible, and says evidence shows Jennifer was the victim of a violent attack. Investigators do say that her husband's DNA was found mixed with Jennifer's blood in their home and that there was blood splatter and cleanup attempts. Jennifer's husband and his girlfriend were arrested and charged in connection with Jennifer's disappearance. Tori, I got to look to you here as our legal eagle because I've dug deep into this case, and I know it's all alleged, but what I saw was that this woman really was a victim of this abuse or some sort of violent action that did take place. And what I saw was a scummy lawyer who drummed up this pathetic defense in order to defame her, in order to get his clients off the hook. How is that ethical?
It's not, but it's exactly what a defense litigator does. What's interesting is this bleeds into the conversation with what you said. So on this show, which goes out to social media, we're reporting this crazy defamation story, which may or may not be true. That's exactly how the rumor starts. And then it gets passed on that this woman was a crazy person. And it goes on and on and on and on from there. So the idea of discernment, the idea of being a better reader, of looking at the newspaper or online and say, I'm going to look more into that because I question this, that's your duty. That's your responsibility. And social media has wiped that out into a headline culture and outrage porn where we click and click and click and no one's doing any detailed looks anymore. So if you want to be fair and an educated citizen, do your homework.
Thank you.
Right, and it could affect the jury.
It will
if
absolutely
this clickbait
affect
gets
it.
so far.
Absolutely affect.
All you have to do is get one jury member.
Right.
That's a reasonable doubt.
One.
That's all it is.
Yep. All right, we're going to switch gears here. If you see a celebrity on the street, maybe you can get them to snap a selfie with you.
I'll take a selfie.
Could you imagine paying over $500 for a photo? That's what a company is charging for photographs with Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Mel Gibson. A group called An Experience With is hosting events with all three stars and selling some expensive photo packages. Can you think of anyone you would shell out that kind of money for, Al? Anybody?
No, I mean, if
Al, anybody.
If it was for charity, like last year we did Casa with Erica Cobb's event, and if it was
spent a big check for some scotch.
Yes, that was for the kids.
So which celebrity would you shell out money for the kids?
For the kids, LeBron and Barack on both sides.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
Good
I'll
one.
do it. That's
Tori?
$500.
The dog whisperer, Cesar Millan, or
No, don't.
No, I am going
No,
there.
don't roll your R like
no,
that.
that's
Just say it how you
Cesar
would
Millan.
say it. Okay.
Caesar Milan. The dog whisperer.
Or Oprah, you said.
Or
That's a good
Oprah,
one, Tori.
hard.
Those are
what
your
about,
two?
Oh, yeah.
Those are good ones.
I know, but I would think Oprah would lead that category.
I love the dog whisperer.
Yes, she does. Jeff, what about you?
I wouldn't
Justin
pay.
Bieber?
No, I wouldn't pay
For
$500
What about for the
to eat
kids?
them.
For
What about for the
charity,
kids?
charity.
To eat them, I said.
You mean eat with him?
Yeah, eat with them. I don't know.
Anybody?
For charity, maybe. Yeah.
You know who I would shell out
Maybe.
for?
The Gwens.
I think
love me Gwen. No,
Gary
Tom.
Busey would be more entertaining at dinner than Justin Bieber.
Gary Busey would be a good one. I would want
See, I would
Tommy
think you-
Shelby.
I would think you'd pick George Clooney.
Tommy Shelby.
But you're not going with
Yes.
Tommy Shelby.
Oh, what do you mean?
He's a character.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. Could I request for him to dress as Tommy Shelby?
You're gonna have to pay extra.
All right, done. Deal.
Peaky Blinders.
And this is from Peaky Blinders, right?
Peaky Blinders. If you haven't seen it yet, tune in. It's a good one.
Yeah.
New season coming up. We don't know when. Can you tell us already? Jeez.
Something.
All right, coming up on DBL, rapper and actor Ice Cube tells us all about his exciting basketball league that puts former pros front and center. But first, the most common white lies your parents told you growing up. You don't want to miss this hilarious new segment coming up next.
Extreme 412 says, I would pay $1,000 for a selfie with Kurt Cobain.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Now, he has passed, so may
Yes.
he rest, but I assume you mean, obviously.
You could pick anybody, I guess.
You could pick anybody. Sly and Gibson would have to pay me, says Michael Loveland. Mel Gibson, yeah. And a lot of people agreed with what we were talking about, having like a nuanced and discerning. A lot of you guys, I think, are attracted to the show because I think you're viewers that are more interested in a longer conversation. And I think there was a lack of daytime TV shows that had that. So I'm glad we can provide that because I think
anything we can chat
the
about
idea of
something,
our culture
like,
of being
just chime in
headline
about it.
is could only get exponentially worse.
Okay, thank
so
you, honey. I
those of you
appreciate
that
you.
watch our show, I think are just attracted to a more nuanced conversation, which we're trying to offer a daytime audience to have, which I don't think you see a lot of.
You don't. Especially in this day and age, everything is so extreme, right? So you get such extreme answers like, oh my gosh, you shame on Pamela Anderson for putting that out there and airing her dirty laundry, and then someone else is going to say, shame on this wife beater, right? People go from 0 to 100
So quickly.
without having proper conversation, proper dialogue, and you can also have duality of thought, like what we talked about with how do you separate an artist from their art. So you can have, like Judi Dench had duality of thought there. She said, listen, I'm going to appreciate Harvey Weinstein's movies, but I also condemn him for what he allegedly did to all those women. But then people are jumping on Judi Dench for even saying that when in reality, she's just talking.
Well, I listened to, again, I'm going to go back because I'm not starting to listen to podcasts, and that guy, Jonathan Haddad, I think his name is, talks exactly about this. He's a professor, and he calls this, we're living in a call-out culture society. So people are living in society, but there's a subculture now with the internet called, the call-out society. He says we need to label it so it has some sort of impact. But the people in culture, just say one of us at the panel, we aren't playing the game that people are calling us out are playing. So they could write whatever they want and call us out, and they get social points for calling us out or taking us off our pedestal and trying to knock us off. So people are going to call Judi Dench out for saying what she said because there's no effect. Judy's not playing the game that they're playing, and all they have is positive reinforcement in that, and they get some kind of...
Welcome back to DBL. Twitter users are going off about little fibs parents told them as kids, whether it was for their own amusement or it just made life a little easier. Here are some lies your parents might have told you. Here we go. First up, there's food at home. That makes sense because mom and dad are sick and tired of paying all that money.
Yeah, but it's not the food you want.
Yeah, I agree.
You know the food at home. You want the food that's not in the home.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But that's good parenting. Though.
That is.
I think that's good. We don't need to go eat those French fries. Let's try to eat something a little better at home.
Broccoli at home.
Nobody wants that.
I'll put cheese in there.
All right, here's another one. I'm holding your birthday money for when you're older. I hope that's true.
Yeah.
Can
That's
you
a good
imagine?
one.
You should lie to your kids about finances like that.
What do you mean?
What if they really are holding it?
No, I'm saying you should. I don't think you should. I hope that they're being honest.
Well, you're a father to three.
Yes.
What do you do when people send your children $20 bills and things like that? Do they get it right away or later?
They get it right away, and they put it away. They don't really have much use for money. They just kind of keep it squirreled away. So sometimes
Smart kids.
I feel like they have a lot of money.
I was all about spending my moolah when I got it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My bat mitzvah money went. Yeah, I took it right
Went
away.
fast? Okay. If you cross your eyes, they'll get stuck like that. Oh, I remember that one. Yep.
I was in a doctor's office and I called my mom out with the doctor and I'm like, is this true?
Smart, Tori.
And he said it's not true. So.
And then what'd your mom say?
She was like, I think it's true. So therefore it was
I don't
true.
like your doctor undercutting your mom like that.
Oh, he's a doctor.
He's gotta be
or
honest.
she's a doctor.
Remember in Liar Liar when he goes, if you make a face like this, will it get stuck like that? And Jim Carrey goes, no, some people make a good living like that. And they kind of broke out of the character. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Not at all. Got a huge laugh. I like that movie.
That did. Here's another one. You'll be strong like Popeye if you eat your spinach. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rex ate from the can.
I think that was
like
thinking it was going to do it. He was like,
you'd get
Mom, this
muscles?
is disgusting.
Well, how many people drank raw eggs after watching Rocky?
Or remember that whole drink milk campaign, and which is atrocious now. We know what's in milk today, but you remember they would show the curvy girls, and I was always flat-chested as a kid, so I would drink milk thinking I'd get boobs.
I didn't even get that from that commercial.
Oh yeah, I
That's
wanted
like
boobs.
subliminal advertising.
Yeah, and it was not right. Not right at all. Mm-mm. What?
Nothing.
Okay, you're staring at me.
You were talking.
All right, I just feel insecure.
Stares a lot.
Here's another one. Eating your carrots will make you see in the dark. What is that one about?
They said the beta carotene would help the rods and cones. This is what my father said. See clearer in the nighttime. All of that is BS.
But they probably thought that was true back at the time,
maybe.
right?
I think it was. I don't know.
Because now you can't drink milk? I'm kind of confused.
Well,
Doesn't that make your bones stronger?
Yeah, but you can get plant milk that has just as much calcium, if not more protein, as opposed to milk from a cow I'll get into it. We'll take a break.
I know, I'm confused about that
Yeah,
one.
we'll take a break about that one.
Right.
We'll talk about it in our digital break. Finally, your mom cuts your hair just as good as the salon. My mom never did that.
Never. No.
I could see you being like, here, Lawson, let me cut your hair.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
No, I want to. Jordan went to school for this.
Oh, she's good at it.
Well, have you seen my son?
He's got long I love his hair.
Let's cut that.
How are you with your kids and their hair?
I tried to cut their hair for a while, just as long as they do the one, but now it's just, they're too fashionable. I'm done.
Yeah.
Dad's out. Got a year free
Not
haircut.
cool anymore. And we'll be right back.
The sun.
So when I grew up, there was that Got Milk or Get Milk, Drink Milk campaign, Got Milk campaign that always showed this like curvy, beautiful girl like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want curves. I need to start drinking milk. Well, later on, I find out when I became vegetarian and later vegan that dairy milk, number one, is, first of all, we're the only species that drinks milk from another species. So it's not normal for like a little child to drink a cow milk. And cow milk is, if you look at it under a microscope, is filled, I hate to burst any bubbles out there, but you can look it up for yourself. Filled with bacteria, filled with pus, filled with filled with antibiotics. Well, even if you get like the clean stuff, it's still filled with like pus and blood and things like that.
Is that good for you at all?
No,
Like seriously?
it's not. No. So like you can get plant-based milk like almond
But
milk.
people eat their own placenta.
True.
Yeah, but they don't eat it constantly
But
every
it's
day.
not your, so you can get plant-based milk that gives you the same nutrients. It's better assimilated into your bones, into your body. They also say that milk from cows will actually take calcium from your bones. You have to Google that because I don't know how to scientifically describe that. But you will get more calcium and more protein from like an oat milk or an almond milk or that type of a milk. And that's according to science. You can look it up. Yeah. But of course, we never get the opportunity to learn that because you have the dairy industry,
the money industry
that shell out.
Welcome back to DBL. The NBA Finals are over, but basketball continues in the Big Three. I sat down with Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and rapper Ice Cube to talk about the league. One of Ice Cube's most iconic songs and Drake's behavior at Raptors games. That's in today's Chatting with the Stars. Check it out.
Big Three.
Lieberman and Ice Cube, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Now let's get right to these questions because I have a bunch of them. Coach, you know that the guy next to you has bragged in his song about getting a triple-double.
Get me on the
against people. How would you shut down Ice Cube?
I would not let him in the building, so he would have no opportunity to have a triple-double. I'd make him stay home on date night with his wife, Kimberly.
What do you think about Drake's behavior during the playoffs? Like calling attention to himself, and he touched Nick Nurse. I mean, what would you do if Drake is touching your shoulders during the game?
It's not too many things that guys like us fan out about, you know. And Drake, he's a fan. His team, first time winning the championship. You should have saw how I acted the first time the Lakers won the championship. You know, I would have got arrested.
All right, I love it. I love it. Now, Ice Cube, you've been around every A-list, B-list celebrity there is. Can you tell us the best celebrity basketball players?
Oh, man, Snoop was pretty good. The Game is great. Flex from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, even Jaleel White. My man Urkel got game.
If a viewer is saying, hey, I've watched 5-on-5 my whole life, never watched 3-on-3 basketball played professionally, what could you tell that viewer in terms of like what they can expect from this upcoming season?
A lot of people have watched 5-on-5, but most people play 3-on-3.
That's true.
You know, 3-on-3 is the game of the neighborhood. If you love basketball, come see a pure form of basketball in the Big Three.
These games are serious. These guys go at it. Are you guys surprised at the level of competition? And sometimes, I mean, those teams, they're not friendly with each other. I kind of like it. I like the competition.
There's some unfinished business. These guys are physical, they have a lot of pride, and they're going at it because there's a lot of money and there's a championship at stake, and we're wired to win.
I appreciate you guys. Come back, see us anytime. Can't wait for the season. And you guys, our fans, remember, watch Big Three games this weekend. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with Kelly to review a couple of things today. First up on the chopping block is Murder Mystery. Now this stars Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler in a murder mystery style drama, just exactly how it sounds. They make a rich friend, they go on a cruise together, and then suddenly people start coming up murdered, and they have to figure out who did it by the end of the movie. And this is a Netflix original, and you know, Kelly, I'm gonna let you take it first. It seems like you didn't like it that much.
I love Jennifer Aniston and I love Adam Sandler, but the movie was a little slow. I gotta be honest, if I didn't have to watch it for work, I probably wouldn't have finished it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought it had some funny moments.
Yeah,
and
a couple, yeah.
I was really curious to see who was the culprit behind all these murders.
Yeah.
And I think if they would have kind of narrowed it down to either one or the other, give me the comedy,
a little
the
sooner,
fun,
maybe?
or the murder mystery, I would have liked it a little more. But it was like they were really trying to play up these jokes, and even during like inappropriate moments, like when they were being interrogated by an FBI agent,
kind of random things.
Adam Sandler is like cracking jokes, and I'm like, dude, this is not appropriate timing.
That's the thing. Yeah, some of it just didn't make sense to me. Like, would you have really gone on a yacht with someone you met randomly?
Right
like,
away,
I don't know,
yeah, it just seemed a little bit funny. And Luke Evans seemed like the most random person to be in that role.
I agree.
Check this out and let us know what you guys think about it. This one I thought was okay, but maybe not the best.
I agree.
Our classic for this week, though, Thank You for Being a Friend. Golden Girls, y'all, is streaming on Hulu, and you said you have never seen an episode?
I've never seen Golden
Never?
Girls.
Oh
I
my
know, but I want to
goodness.
because I have so many people who come to me and they're like, Golden Girls is your jam,
I mean,
so I need to check it out.
literally is right up your alley now.
Yep.
If you've got a Hulu subscription, you can check this one out there. What a series. I used to watch this almost every single evening with my parents. And Kelly, you mean to tell me you haven't seen it yet?
I've never seen Golden Girls, but lots of people tell me it's my jam, so I definitely need to check it out. And now's the perfect time
You
because
need
I
to
have
check
Hulu.
it out, yeah.
Might
If you
as
got
well.
Hulu,
Yep.
check this one out. And then coming up on Netflix, Mr. Iglesias starring Gabriel Iglesias as a teacher instead of a comedian. So he just kind of takes a teacher-like role in high school, helping out misfit teenagers. And I think this is awesome. He's taking a George Lopez-like approach, you know, going from the stand-up into a sitcom on Netflix. Original series, guys. Check that out, coming out this Friday. And we'll see you next time on the DBL Stream Team.
Welcome back to DBL. Before we go, I wanted to respond to viewers in Northern California who brought this story to my attention, and I need your help, DBL Nation. So first, do you see any similarity between these two trademarks? One is from the billion-dollar company Caterpillar. You're familiar with their construction equipment, of course. And then there's this one from a local coffee shop in Santa Cruz, California, named Cat and Cloud Coffee. Well, even though Cat and Cloud Coffee has a registered trademark legally to protect their name, Caterpillar is trying to cancel their small business trademark, as well as a number of other small businesses that use the name Cat in it, even though these small businesses do not compete with this corporate giant. So according to critics, Caterpillar's goal is to bury them in legal debt so that they surrender their trademark, because a small business defending themselves could cost upwards of $100,000. So as a small business owner myself, and as a native to Santa Cruz, California, I could not sit back and not call out this type of corporate bullying. It's unethical, it's un-American. So Caterpillar Inc. and CEO Jim Umpleby, given that you were just named by Forbes as one of the most admired companies of 2019, I'm going to give you, Jim, the benefit of the doubt and believe you are unaware of this grotesque abuse of power, knowing that America depends on small businesses like Cat and Cloud, who employ 52 people, by the way. That's 52 families. I'm going to believe that once you hear about this, you will do the right thing so that Caterpillar can live up to their moniker as one of America's most admired companies. Now, in the meantime, DBL Nation, please continue to use your voice. Be heard. Be the advocate that we love about you. Share this story, power in numbers. And if you feel so inclined, you can also help with Cat and Cloud's legal fees by donating to their GoFundMe page. Just search Cat and Cloud. And if they exceed this donation goal, if they don't need this donation goal, they will be donating those funds to their local Boys and Girls Club and also to the Boys and Girls Club in Lake County, Illinois, which is where Caterpillar's headquarters are.
Right. Well, I think you really said that very eloquently. I applaud you for saying that. You're a small business owner, which I appreciate. I'm a Caterpillar investor. I invest in their stocks. Yeah, so I want them to do the right thing, from not just because my friend, but for all small businesses out there.
I appreciate
so I'm glad you called them out. I don't feel offended that I do support them, but I want people to do the right thing. And sometimes I think maybe the owners don't even know that this might be going on. You know, you would hope they do, but well said.
Very well said.
That was awesome.
Beautifully said.
Well done, girl.
We just want the best for everybody.
Do the right
we'll
thing.
See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Here with the DBL Digital team. I think Sam's going to come over here and we're going to keep talking about this. I think it's really cool that if they don't end up needing this money from the GoFundMe, they're going to donate it to the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Cruz as well as the Boys and Girls Club in Lake County, Illinois. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
I think this is awesome, first of all, that you're standing up for small businesses because you're not the only small business owner out there. So many people, especially in our DBL Nation, own small businesses.
Yeah.
This could happen to any of them.
First of all, DBL Nation, I love you guys. I love when you send stories. We really do read all the stories that you send. We really care what your opinion is. So when I saw a handful of people, because we air in Northern California right around 1:30 p.m. our time. So when I saw a handful of people rightfully upset about this because they love this little coffee shop, and then I saw that there's like 200 other little mom and pops that
are
also
being
use
affected.
the name Cat, and they're not in competition.
Have nothing to do with
and they all have legal trademarks. So you did your due diligence. You
did
put
what you
your
were supposed
blood,
to do,
sweat, and tears in there. You got your trademark. You've established your company, and then all of a sudden you have this big conglomerate telling you, no, pretty much you got to go away.
Yeah,
I
not
can't.
okay.
As a small business owner, I can't imagine because you're feeding your kids off that income. So yeah, I really hope, Caterpillar, that you do the right thing. And again, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly. He may not know. They may not know, but they need to fix it. Doesn't
Especially
matter.
because you do have a reputation of being such an
A good
outstanding
company.
that
weird.
gives back, that empowers
That
your
people
local.
like working for. Yeah.
And you empower people. I've read the stories about how you empower people. So I really hope that we can get this to the CEO, Jim. If anybody knows anybody at Caterpillar, please spread this information because it will impact a lot of small businesses, and this country depends on them.
Agreed.
So we thank you, DBL Nation. We love you.
All right, guys, we'll be posting this on all of our social pages, so please be sure to share it out. Maybe we can get their attention. All right, bye, guys.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
So what about? Well, there you go. Thank you, Jimmy Smits. I love that guy.
Cool.
We have a brand new interview with him coming up in just a few minutes. Welcome to DBL, guys. It's Tuesday, June 25th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about. Right now, I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. I'm Jeff. Let's get to it, guys. It was a very star-studded event. Big names in Hollywood performed a dramatic reading of the Mueller report. That's right. John Lithgow portrayed President Trump in a live reading of portions of the 448-page report called The Investigation, A Search for Truth in 10 Acts. You heard me right, 10 acts. Kevin Kline, Jason Alexander, Alyssa Milano were also in it. Annette Bening narrated, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Sigourney Weaver made recorded appearances. Here's some of those highlights.
My God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm The president became angry and lambasted the attorney general for his decision to recuse from the investigation.
If we had confidence that the president
clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that.
The framers of the Constitution gave us the tools to handle such an event. They did their job. Robert Mueller did his job. The question is, will we do ours?
The show was live streamed from a theater in New York and was trending on Twitter last night, but many are asking, will the A-list celebs really be bringing renewed attention to the subject? Tori, was this your Super Bowl last night?
It wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I think it fell really flat. I think someone brought up a great quote that you can't bring a book to a Twitter fight, and this was bringing 10 acts, like a full novel, to a culture in which things are divulged in very quick things. 10 acts already turns me off. These players are already very liberal, and I already love them, but you're not going to be preaching to anyone different than what you're already trying to preach to. So 10 acts makes you think you're like in 1930s when we're here in 2019 and Bill Barr's giving you a 4-page summary. Make it an animation, do it on BuzzFeed, let millennials see it, figure out a way to get the Mueller report information out, and it's not a full soliloquy because it just goes on and on and on.
Well, when it's 448 pages to start out with, is there really an option to amend it? I mean, for me, I never in a million years would have been like, yes, I'm going to sit down and watch this. But once I started watching it, it definitely had my interest. It's the difference between when you're talking about the church, it's like the congregation. Yes, you are preaching to the choir, but still some people in that choir don't understand the language that's in the original document. It's like the difference between the King James version and the everyday version of this is how it applies to your life. So I sat down and thought, oh, okay, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time to really understand it, because to not understand it is kind of, in my opinion, for me, just being a lazy citizen.
I agree with you, but I think if you want to bring it out to a wide audience, think about the way people digest information these days. And it's not in a theater, and it's not in 10 acts. It's quick information, it's probably animated, it's fast. So if you really want to change opinions and get to people you haven't reached before, that's the way I would go.
It's very difficult to understand just for the average citizen anyways, because there's a lot of rhetoric in there, dialogue that people don't know unless you have a political background or even a legal background.
I think the way people get their information, especially busy people, is they get it through comedic humor that has factual basis to it. You look at Samantha Bee, you look at John Oliver, you look at The Daily Show. They're funny comedians, but they are delivering the news in some way, and I think that's the way that they did it. They could have been most efficient in doing this, and I think South Park would have knocked this out of the park. It would have been funny, but they were also had like funny, like serious parts in it, just the way they dissected Scientology.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea. That. Not the real thing. All right, guys, we have shocking new details. They're coming into light right now. In this Jussie Smollett saga, newly released texts between Jussie and one of the 2 Nigerian brothers, the same ones he allegedly paid to attack him, highlight their close relationship. According to the text, Jussie talked with him about drugs and erotic massages. This follows the shocking footage that was released yesterday, and we want to warn you, it may be disturbing to some. What you're seeing is body cam video put out by Chicago police. It shows the moments after cops arrived at Jussie's apartment following the alleged assault in January. You can see the Empire actor still has the noose around his neck, and let's listen to the exchange with the police.
Do you want to take it off or anything? Yeah, I do. I just want to see. 72 Rapper? Show us transport. I want a female official. There's a bleach on me. If we're bleach on me. Okay. 1870. They're filming you. Like audio. That I guess when they didn't know they were walking into. I don't want to be filmed. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Jussie said he was the victim of a hate crime, but police say he orchestrated the whole thing. A grand jury eventually indicted him on 16 counts, but the prosecutor, Kim Foxx, later dropped all the charges, prompting a lot of backlash and outrage. However, Jussie is not out of the woods just yet. A special prosecutor is now handling the case, which means Jussie could still face charges. I think Kim Foxx is a name that we don't talk about enough. I mean, besides all the obvious things that are going on in this case, Kim Fox is left out of this, and I want to know why she dropped those charges. What is the reasoning?
See, well, we can speculate.
Right, I know.
She did recuse herself, and then we did see some text messages from an unidentified person. So I'm sure that case is developing as well, because there is a chance that Jussie could be charged again. But I want to just kind of go back to the fact that we said this could be disturbing to some viewers. I don't find that video disturbing to some viewers. I find it disturbing because a few weeks ago, we showed a photo of two ladies who were in a relationship who had been brutalized on a bus in London. I find that very disturbing. When I see photos and archives of Emmett Till, I find that to be very disturbing. I find this to be disturbing because it makes a mockery of those two incidents and all of those things that would fall under the umbrella of a real attack. That's why it's disturbing.
I mean, I completely agree with you, and this is coming from someone that if they had a swastika put on them or a noose, let's say, as a Jewish person, you don't just like wear it around. This is coming speculation from me. And then if you watch him, if you can see the video, he sort of folds up the noose. That is just not, in my opinion, what a victim does on a hate crime. Here he is kind of wearing it. He says, I want you to know they threw bleach on me. They asked, do you want to take it off? And he folds it up in a way that's, it's almost like a prop. And I know this is just coming from me.
Well, no,
it looks funny to me.
I agree with you. When I was physically assaulted, the first thing I wanted to do was take a shower.
Shower, yes.
I wanted to take all my clothes off, and I wanted to shower.
Rape victims feel the exact same way. And they scrub and scrub and scrub, and they say, don't shower because you need that DNA to police, but it's completely the same thing.
The whole thing's very bizarre, but I want I don't know if you know this or not. Why was he able to have the policeman shut off his body cam? Why wouldn't they just, like, listen, I thought legally we're running this thing till you're out of our sight.
I'm not quite sure about body cams. It is supposed to run all the way. I didn't know if they were done with their investigation. I also thought it was odd they didn't bag the noose in the evidence bag. His fingerprints are all over it. I thought they would take that into evidence as a way. So a lot of that was done. I wonder if the police were sketched out from the beginning.
Well, CPD has special attention. So it, like, as a public figure, you can receive special attention where they'll come to your home and they'll actually, like, it's a different category because you're considered a public figure. So they may have been giving him special attention in that way, so he had the option of shutting off his body cam.
Yeah, there's more. I mean, there's a social level to this as well, other than just the attack. You know, so that's what's fascinating to me about this whole thing. It's not so much Jussie faked this, but what it's gonna, how it's gonna affect our society moving forward.
Right. I mean, I think in 5 years, it's sad we have to say this, but I hope like somebody like Lifetime or somebody breaks this down into a 6-episode miniseries, because unfortunately, Lifetime and HBO is the only way we get to the bottom of cases anymore.
Yeah, right.
We need to throw investigative reporters at this, because right now, like you said, Jeff, this is just definitely the strangest story we've covered on the show.
Yes.
By far, I don't know. I mean, I know what I think, but I don't know why. I don't know why it was dropped. I don't know what Kim Fox had to gain. I don't understand anything in this case, and I've never had a story like this.
There's some kind of behind the scenes going on with Chicago PD, Kim Fox, and things we don't know about.
Yeah, it's fascinating on so many levels for me. I don't know why, but just is. That's why we do it.
Every day.
That's why we're on a TV show. All right, DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, our own Stephanie Jones sits down with veteran TV actor Jimmy Smits for the first time, and they put their accents on the line. Let's listen.
Por favor, de un olor.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy.
What's sexier, British, English, or Spanish? Well, you decide. Then contestants on The Bachelorette take the plunge in the buff. What kind of date is that? And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Forget the booty call. Now there's a foodie call. I like it. Hungry singles are going on dates, not for the romance, but for the free food. Your comments next.
I said 3 things there.
You were like Chinese food in China. There they just call it food. So this is an interesting question. Why was Jussie Smollett's face blurred out? We know who that is. This is Mr. Vato, 53. Real quick, he was blurred out because at first he was thought to have been a victim of a hate crime. And if you're the victim of a hate crime, you are allowed to respect your anonymity. Same thing of a Jane Doe, John Doe. If you're raped, they don't have the victim's name. So again, they were trying to protect the victim who they thought at the time was Jussie. Turns out that might not be true. By far the weirdest
But
story.
the shutting off the camera, I don't understand. Like, hey, could you shut that off? Sure, but as a police officer, I'd be like, dude, I got to leave this on for my protection too. It's yours as well.
100. I not only don't understand that. Again, why not take the rope into evidence into an evidence bag is also super bizarre to me. Why not take it off him and bag it?
And it was 40 minutes later, 40 to 50 minutes later.
I think the reason they didn't is because
I
think they called Bravo Sierra on this as soon as they rolled up, because you have to think as a police officer, you've seen everything.
But you
10
can't
times.
take that into.
So
You have to
I'm just
bag
saying,
it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that they didn't.
I don't think they were expecting him to be wearing that.
Right, and just
to be
like,
honest with you.
But don't you think they would put gloves on and take it? It's a big part of the case.
I
isn't
think
it?
they were kind of in shock too. I mean, there are people, and I know they see a lot of things, but that was very bizarre.
Right, and just the night that it happened, the coldest night in Chicago. Like, think about what that means. Like, Chicago's cold.
That's interesting.
For anybody that hasn't been there, it's freezing.
Why do you guys?
So for that to be the coldest night in a city that is nicknamed after being cold, just tells you how cold it was. It just
The
didn't.
crime rate goes down significantly.
Oh, when it's colder.
Because
humans
people
can't
don't.
be outside.
Yeah,
It's like
people-
Mars.
Yeah.
And just the way that they're
Like how
dressed,
you're
like
painting the picture for Chicago.
I love Chicago.
And the Windy City is not for the cold; it's for the politicians.
Welcome back to DBL. Time for Fifth Host, and we talk about what you're talking about. 1/3 of women in a new survey admitted to going out on a date just for a free meal. Uh-oh. And it's called a foodie call. That's when a person books a date with someone who they aren't interested in just to eat for free. Researchers say that although their study focused on straight women, men are likely to do this as well. All right. The whole book thing, I was like, are they on audition? Yeah. So DBL Nation, are foodie calls okay?
Sorry, I just want to hit foodie. Foodie. Okay. Kaylee from Facebook says there's nothing wrong with this. If you go out on a date with someone who you're not initially interested in, it is a practice date. So why not hook me up with a good meal for being a good practice date? Kaylee, you know, that's an interesting theory. I don't have a problem with this. I've done this twice, and I'm very clear on when it happened, because the way that I was invited was, why not go out and have a good dinner and have a good time with some great company? I like great company. I like good dinner. We are cool to this day.
Would you go out with that company without the dinner?
Probably not.
I thought you liked great company.
I do, with dinner. And wine. That makes the company better. And just so you know, this is a full circle thing, because you absolutely will be on the hook for it later, because I have definitely paid my fair shares of dinner, so I don't even feel bad about it. There you go.
All right, I know one story where you got stuck with the bill.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
That's great.
I think you talked about that. All right. Karen from YouTube says, I think when you take somebody out and offer to pay, there's an understanding that it might be a one-time only deal, but shame on people who take advantage of dates just for a free meal. Karen, I'm all about, as I get into my advanced age, found out a producer here, graduated high school in 2013.
Isn't that disgusting?
I'm getting older, and I'm realizing my time is valuable, and I feel like this is a huge waste of somebody's time. If you're just going out because you're hungry, like, let that man or that woman go out with somebody that actually wants to eat and possibly get to know them on another level, not just eat and have pleasant side chat.
But sparks could fly, Al. Roger from Facebook says, foodie calls seem like fair to me, considering what some men expect after a date.
Ooh. Froyo?
Not froyo, Al. I have a problem with both of this. So I have a problem if men expect anything after a date. I'm sorry. That's always going to be an issue with me. And I also don't think it's a big deal, though, if you are somewhat interested and you want to explore, because isn't that just dating?
Isn't
like,
somewhat interested a way to lie to yourself?
What?
That you're not just going for food?
Let me ask you this. If you're going on that date and you know nothing's going to happen, would you ever order like lobster and expensive champagne?
Never.
Would that be part of that? Would you order that?
I wouldn't do that anyway. But I also grew up in a household where my mother was like, do not order anything that you can't afford to pay for.
That's good.
So I may not have been able to take a cab home, but I was able to afford to pay for my meal.
Wow.
That's good. I like that advice. Right. Next time you guys book a date.
I know. Why did they book a date?
I don't know. I got so thrown off. Coming up on DBL, it'll cost fans a pretty penny to get their picture taken with Sly Stallone. Is the price fair or is he overcharging? But first, longtime TV actor Jimmy Smits chats with our own Stephanie Jones and tells us all about his favorite death scene. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray, and today I want to give you guys a couple of clean beauty secrets that I learned from the clean beauty icon herself, Rosemary Swift. Now, I was able to pick her brain about herself, her amazing brand, RMS Beauty, and so much more. But today, I want to make sure that I brought back the tips that she gave me for flawless skin and flawless makeup every day. Now, the first one I want to share with you guys is using her beauty oil. Now, I'm not just saying any beauty oil. Her beauty oil is the truth, guys. This oil is what truly gives you an amazing luminous glow in the skin that's not oily, but simply a beautiful luminous finish. All right, y'all? Now, with this guy, it has amazing ingredients like jojoba, rosehip, and even ashwagandha oil, which is amazing for healing benefits. This is also going to make sure that the skin has the hydration that it needs to make sure that our makeup glows on flawlessly. Now, with something like this, I like to use about 3 to 4 drops all over my skin, but I've really been using this for a little bit of everything. After I shave, before I do makeup, as my night serum. I mean, it was like rated in the top 10 in Japanese Vogue for the best beauty oil, so I think it can do good for my skin too. You guys gotta try it out though. Let me know how you love it. It's about 3 to 4 drops. So for our next one, this guy is called our Master Mixer. Now, she actually told me that she discovered this product on accident. She was in Japan doing a model, and when she was doing the model's makeup, she accidentally picked this jar up instead of something else. Now, the result it gave her made an amazing product that is legendary now. This guy gives you a beautiful shine, almost like a nice little highlight on the cheekbone, but it almost also perfects the skin in every which way possible. So I typically just do my little beauty oil all over. I'll tap a little.
Welcome back to DBL. For the past 30 years, Jimmy Smits has been entertaining audiences on TV, in movies, and on stage. He returns to primetime in Bluff City Law. So I sat down with the actor to talk about the new legal drama and much more at Denver's Series Fest. That's today's Chatting with the Stars. All right, Jimmy, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Good to be here with you.
We're going to talk to you about something not so nice, about the fact that you're always getting killed off in everything, love.
Do you think that?
Oh, Miami Vice, you died in the pilot.
Yes.
NYPD, your character was killed off.
True.
Star Wars, What was your favorite death?
I actually like the Miami Vice going out because just before the character got blown up, Thomas said, "Why don't you turn around and smile at Crockett," who's Don Johnson's character, like not a care in the world. And he was so right on with that particular moment.
And in that moment, it was all over.
Boom.
It was off. All right, talk about Buff City Law, your new show. So in it, you play a prominent lawyer who teams up with his estranged daughter to change the world.
Change the world.
Change the world. That's a pretty big statement, right? How are you going to change the world in this series? Tell me.
You know, the law, the whole area of the law is something that's very aspirational in a lot of ways.
Everyone likes to talk about how this kind of work is rewarding, but if you lose, it destroys you.
It deals with subjects that talk about what the best of our society could possibly be, and the people who champion causes.
Yeah.
It is a father and daughter story at its center.
We're total opposites. You're conservative, I wage war.
Our differences could be our strength.
You can't just silence the truth. I want the order.
This required for review. That was brilliant in there.
Right, so Spanish is meant to be the language itself. It's very nice, it's very romantic, it's very poetic, isn't it?
That's
you
what
can
you're
tell
saying.
I've got a bit of a gripe against this because the Queen's English, in my opinion, sounds much better.
Does it?
So I want to find out once and for all.
Once and for all.
Which one is the most romantic or sexy language? How would you say, smell this dirty t-shirt?
Por favor, de un olor a esa camisilla.
Okay, you're definitely winning. Go on, hit me while I just calm myself down from that.
I'm very tired. Please leave me alone.
I'm bloody knackered. Will you bugger off?
Say it again.
I'm bloody knackered. Will
Knackered.
You... Knackered. I'm knackered, darling. I'm ready for a nap. Will you bugger off?
I really like that. I'm bloody knackered.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy. I'm in need of a kip, lad. Okay, right. Are you ready? Oh, now I want you to tell me how you'd say this.
Okay.
Dennis France's butt was the best part of NYPD Blue.
La arquitectura del cuerpo del posterior de Dennis France es una maravilla.
I appreciate the movement as
The
well.
movement.
That made it. That made it. Jimmy, you've been absolutely amazing.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy Denver.
Thank you, love. And
Be
you
nice
too.
to her.
You can catch Bluff City Laws starting September the 23rd on NBC. And DBL Nation, very important, we want to hear from you. We want your thoughts and opinions on our show. So go to the website on the bottom of the screen and take a short survey, very important. And coming up on DBL, the Bachelorette contestants take the naked plunge literally. Why they are bungee jumping without clothes, only God knows. And also jumping alligators and space parties. Our very own Raquel Villanueva gives you an out-of-this-world look at the latest SpaceX launch.
Thanks for hanging with us. I'm still on the foodie call discussion. I thought that was really interesting. Dating is such a strange interaction that men and women have because it's something that you never really formally say like what your intentions are. You say let's go out to dinner, but that means so much more than if I tell Jeff and David I want to go out to dinner with them. But then you don't say that; it's just assumed. So I think with dates, because everything is so assumed and so ambiguous, I think it does lead to things like foodie call. But who knows? Maybe you're going out for a free meal and you're like, hey, I really like this guy. So I think a lot of guys really just. All you can ask for is for a woman that you're interested in to stop and give you a second. What's your thing? Who are you? And you never know. You're gonna meet that one, and things will go from there. So I think I'm still anti-foodie call if you're going into the date knowing that there's no chance. If it's a blind date, or if you're like, hey, he's cute, but I was just looking at his profile. It doesn't look like he's in anything I'm into, but I'll give him a chance. That's a totally different thing. So as long as the answer isn't 100% no, I would like it to be above 10%, like Tori said. Like, if you're like 20% interested, that's what's up. I'm down with that. And you never know. Honestly, somebody that you're trying to date, as corny as it sounds, every guy's worried about friend zone. But guys, you have to have female friends. And vice versa, but I think women are better at that than men. Guys, it cannot just be your friends giving you advice because your friends don't know what they're talking about. Get a close girlfriend that you've never had any kind of romantic relationship with. That way you guys can be honest. You can come to her with questions that you have about relationships you're currently in. She'll give you an honest answer and not biased answer. So you never know. You might meet a friend, and like the people I still talk to 20 some years after high school are female friends of mine. So you never know. So might be romance, might be friendship, but you're definitely gonna eat. So I look at it as a win-win. Thanks.
90 seconds.
Welcome back to DBL. Early this morning, the historic SpaceX launch turned night into day as the world's most powerful rocket lit up the sky. Our very own Raquel Villanueva was there to see the action firsthand and sent us this cute little video diary. Let's check it out.
2, 1, 0.
IDBL Nation, tonight the rocket right behind me will launch. It's going to be well worth the wait. The launch was delayed for 3 hours, so there's a bunch of people in the parking lot right now just trying to keep themselves busy. It is an intergalactic space party. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And as soon as the rocket went off, the alligators in the water about a few feet from us all started jumping up at the same time. And then it was just this eerie feeling that came over everyone. There was screaming, there was crying. It was really, really cool. It's the only way I can describe it.
All right, the mission was an overall success, but it wasn't without failure. Just 12 minutes after liftoff, the 2 side rocket boosters had a perfect landing, but the center core booster was sent to return in the ship in the Atlantic. It missed its mark, crashed in the ocean, and burst into flames. Well, I'm glad you're having fun, Raquel.
Yeah.
But those alligators.
Yeah. Way to leave it on a bummer.
We could have just probably started talking about it after Raquel's part.
And now you have to go.
But hey, reality struck. There we go. I don't know what to say other
reality
than
is real.
Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Now we've seen it all. Naked bungee jumping on The Bachelorette. What won't they do for a little exposure? Then Sylvester Stallone sticker shock. You won't believe what he's charging for a selfie. And he's a rapper, actor, and now sports mogul. Ice Cube tells us all about his pro 3-on-3 basketball league when DBL comes back.
Hi everyone, I want to tell you about the building behind me. It is the Vehicle Assembly Building. It's one of the largest single-story buildings in the world, and that is where they assemble space vehicles. And I guess you can guess why it has to be that high, because you have to fit a lot of tall rockets inside it. And right now the side door's open and we might go get a peek, and I will let you know if we see it. Ever wonder where all the flames go during a rocket launch? Well, I'll show you. It's the flame pit.
But the big cutouts in the back, that's for the solid rocket boosters. The big cutout in the front, that's for your 3 main engines.
So behind me is Starship, the prototype of the rocket that will one day take humans to Mars.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Daily Blast Live starts right
now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
3, 2. Well, That was nice of Ice Cube and Nancy Lieberman, those guys. We have a brand new interview with them coming up in just a minute. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get to it, guys. The internet is on fire over the Bachelorette last night. You have to see this.
1, 2, 3, go.
That's the Bachelorette, Hannah Brown. I was practicing Bachelorette and I got caught.
Didn't go well.
Well, she jumped naked bungee jumping and with whatever. You saw that, right? She went crazy and she bungee jumped naked.
I mean, yeah.
I got all caught up on the word.
I don't think it was, I mean, it just seems like a little much to me.
Is it too much, though?
Yeah. I mean, in this Me Too, I don't know, just bungee jumping pressed up naked against someone.
Too.
Yeah.
Like the meat, like
it just seems too fast, too forward, too much.
They're trying to push the envelope. Bungee jumping, I think, would have been enough. You would have remembered that moment, right?
Yeah, anything naked, because it's not even the sense of intimacy. Like, I mean, my husband and I are very comfortable with one another. I don't want to get naked and bungee jump.
I know what you mean.
It's
Do
just
you guys
odd.
watch Naked and Afraid?
Yes,
No.
I love
Okay,
it.
so what's the difference?
You're not trying to hook up with that person, possibly.
You're doing something adventurous naked
Right,
with
but this
somebody.
is
And you don't sleep with your genitals touching each other.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just give it a little practice before you talk to Lawson.
Listen, I never know what I can and can't say on this show.
So you say it slower and use your hands?
And really draw attention to myself?
I'm going to need camera one for this.
This part of it was the best.
Yeah, that was...
Because I want to just give you guys a visual without saying.
Right, but I have
You
to
also
ask...
said it.
Would we be talking about this if they weren't naked? You got to do this for a rating.
No,
If two
well,
people
they're doing their job.
Right.
They are producing ratings for ABC. Their job is not to fall in love. Okay, like, that's not how love works.
But you're sitting next to somebody that fell in love. You can fall in love on a reality show.
He didn't go on a dating show in hopes to find his wife. He just happened to find his wife. I think.
But he was
different
on a
things.
reality show and he met his wife, so it is possible.
It's not the same thing.
But it's different
Okay, really, do we have to break down the Bachelor, Bachelorette?
Let's do it.
Out of every single person in every encounter that you've ever had, people get 25 to 30 random people and put them in a house, and you're gonna find the person
How
you're
is that
supposed to
different
fall
from
in love
college?
with.
Dorm?
Because you're not forced to be with
Are
that
you
person.
married to somebody from your dorm?
No.
Okay.
I lived off campus.
Oh my God, you're being so adversarial.
No, I'm just saying, and it's possible.
It's not. Dorms are not where true
Erica,
love
I would
are
say that this
meant
gives
to
them a
be
shared
made.
experience.
Oh my God.
They now have something to
But
bond over.
what if you were the other contestant? Would you be mad about that?
I'm just now. I'd be like, we got to top it. We got to naked tractor riding or something. we got to go ham.
I don't know if that tops it.
Well,
No.
yeah.
Because you're not.
I'll never be able to get that visual of just.
You need to equal that. All right. We're going to move on.
Let's move on. Let's
All right,
go.
guys. A shocking number of Americans regret their college degree. Oh, you don't regret the dorm rooms, though. Two-thirds of American employees say that they regret what they majored in. That's according to a new survey with nearly 250,000 people. A college degree is still viewed by many as a guarantee for higher lifetime earnings. But with Americans holding nearly $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, many are having second thoughts. So we want to know what you guys think. Do you regret your college degree? Go to dblvote.com for you guys to weigh in. I kind of,
I was going to say, I'm going to hear from you
I got
first.
a degree in marketing. I went there, honestly, I went to football. I went to college to play football.
That's honest.
And after my junior year, I was kind of down the path of business already, and I wanted to switch it like to the arts. I wanted to be like in plays and things like that. And they're like, you're already too far down this way. You have to just get a degree in marketing.
Aww.
And then marketing wasn't even what I wanted. I wanted I guess I wanted to create this pen instead of sell this pen. You know, so I was already too far down. So I
Terrible
regret
advice
that.
to give somebody. I wanted to take this path to my life, and they're like, no, it's too late.
Yeah.
You're 20.
No,
It's tough
but
because I took too many credits going that way.
Yeah, here's the thing. I understand how blessed I am because I have a mother who's in education and was a professor in college. So this conversation was long before my friends were having these conversations. But as a result, like, I knew I was going to do radio. I had my communication media studies degree all picked out. Like, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I did my internship my sophomore year in college and started my career right then and there. We do not have conversations with young people about the reality of education. And we have a very hierarchical way of thinking about education, because if you're not thinking of a 4-year degree, I remember kids in my school were like, oh, we're going to UCLA. And I'm like, oh, you're going to UCLA? That's great. And they're like, oh, university closest to the Lombard area, because community college was seen as some type of a joke.
Yeah,
community college is not a joke. It's a way for you to figure out what you want to do and not have to spend more money than you have to in order to do it. And for a lot of people, it's a safety net. So I think that we have to have realistic conversations with young people starting much earlier than high school about what their future holds, so they don't end up in crazy amounts of debts with degrees that mean nothing.
And just to jump on your point really quickly, I met a woman at Trader Joe's who's a fan of the show. We started talking, we were talking about college just maybe like 6 months ago. She told me her son did 2 years of community college and now goes to, I'm not going to say the name of the school, goes to the most prestigious school here in Colorado, which I think that you can guess from that. Starts with an M. So, you know, it does work that you can get into the best school after 2 years of community college. But just like you, Erica, it was a running joke, like, oh, the community college, what are you going to wear, clear heels because you're a stripper? You're going to pay for it in once? It was like such a scarlet letter when it's just like the most practical financial decision you're going to make if you're taking general ed classes.
Yeah, I got to be super honest here with you. 5 years ago, it was like, oh my God, if you didn't go to college, it was the be all and end all. And this is a DC coastal elitist kind of talking. It was a no-brainer.
That's
college
honest.
was it, right? Now, no way. This new generation, it's vocational schools, it's 2-year degrees, it's 4-year trading communities, it's bartering, it's different kind of schooling, it's online. It is changed drastically. And it's because you don't want to criminalize someone for trying to go to college.
Yeah.
You're loaded and chained to Sallie Mae for the rest of your life practically.
Yeah.
So why not think outside the box?
And Erica, I see you about to make a point, but this really upsets me. Every time we see like a plumber on TV, their butt crack is hanging out. They're like some slobby guy.
It's never dignified.
Yeah, and it's like plumbers.
Have you tried to get a plumber in Denver or an electrician or any type of contractor? You're waiting like 6, 8
That's
a
where the
year.
money is.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're never broke.
But those are vocational schools. Like
right, and all these, that's what I'm saying. But we portray them on TV as like, oh, let's go get Chubby Larry, the superintendent. He comes up. It's like people that can fix things, people that can take a tree stump and make you a dinner table. That's an incredible skill to have, and you have a tangible thing that you can be proud of at the end of the day. And so I think if we told kids that, there would be a lot more kids going into that rather than being like, I don't want to be a plumber and deal with people's. It's like, no, people really need you. People need you in an emergency situation. So
I think the conversation is changing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Let's see the final vote here. Do you regret college? 59% say yes. Or your college degree. I should clarify that because I would go to college again
for the
100 times over.
Experience.
Yeah, I've learned so much, but my degree I would have changed.
You would just go hang out on campus. You don't go there. Go to the school you want.
Well, I learned so much. I learned about how to get my work done. I learned about being on my own. I learned about what I really want.
So
I
that feeling.
Well,
I had a good time.
You went to Michigan. You weren't a Buckeye.
All right, Ohio State.
Buckeyes. National champs, baby.
Okay.
Did you actually go?
No, he's to Ohio State.
Listen,
like, didn't you go to Brown?
Yes. They're in Ohio.
So you claim them?
Yes. What's up, Maurice Claret?
I thought you went there for
No, he didn't. That'd be like me claiming University of Illinois. I went to DePaul. Blue Demons.
Well, I think that's a good claim, but we're gonna have to talk about it.
I know.
I can't be. You have to go to the school. Aren't you a Notre Dame fan?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Touche. All right. If you see a celebrity on the street, maybe you can get a little selfie with them, huh? Am I right? Or her. Could you imagine paying over $500 though for that photo? That's what a company is charging for photographs with Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Mel Gibson. A group called An Experience With is hosting events with all 3 stars and selling some expensive photo packages. Can you think of anyone that you'd shell out that kind of money for? $500. Would you pay it?
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle Obama, all day, every day.
Really?
Yes. I wouldn't do it with someone. I would absolutely do it with someone that I admired, maybe could take like a piece of information that I could use in my life, which I did. But I also thought of it as this is a time in my life where it also spoke to the degree of where I've come to, that I was able to do that. I did not think of that very lightly. I thought of it as if it was, you know, like a step in my life.
It was a step in your life.
Would you pay for anyone, not charity, just $500 to meet somebody?
I would pay to meet Oprah because I was super close to her at a lunch once, and also.
No, literally, you were in the same room. You weren't close to her emotionally.
We were under a tent together at the same thing.
Well, she's not trying to get wet.
Okay, it's not your turn. And also, I would say that I would say Pema Chodron, who most people don't know, but it's the Buddhist teacher I follow, and she was on Oprah actually, and she's someone that has like drastically altered the course of my life, and meeting with her would mean I'd pay anything for it.
Wow, that's
and she's
great.
in Colorado.
Well, why don't you make that happen?
Just manifest it.
Yeah.
Say I'm doing it. Can we get a one shot?
Pema Chodron, you and I will meet one day.
Not one day. Say the day.
We will meet next year in June.
Can you not sound like a crazy
And Pema,
stalker?
if you don't want to meet her, there's $500 in it for you.
How Buddhist of you.
I don't know if I'd pay anyone if it wasn't for charity.
Let's just say charity just to.
You know who I'd love to meet? He unfortunately passed away. Anthony Bourdain. I think
Yeah, you would pay for that.
I would have paid for that.
Definitely.
It's the
just
chef
to hear
in
some
you.
stories.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that guy's been around the world. I mean, I don't know why I have this connection with that guy.
Because you love traveling and cooking, and you think both explain the world to you, and they do.
Yeah, and I think he sees the world in a different light.
First of all, that was
just
the
from all those
greatest
travels.
breakdown ever. Well
Isn't
done,
that
Tori.
lovely?
Tori, what's going on today? We're really getting along.
It's
well.
weird.
Guys, knock that off.
Pema, how about you? $500.
$500. I'm going probably with LeBron and Barack. I'm just such big fans of both of them.
It's 1,000.
No, I tried to get off. Yes.
No, it's 500 each.
I'll go with those two.
Those two.
Yeah, I'll shell that 1,000.
Well, 500 is just for the photo. The experience is extra.
Oh.
Just so you know.
You went to Michigan and you added up 250 to get to 1,000.
I have an art history degree.
All right. There you go. Coming up on DBL. How much for a cup of coffee? Here, just take it. Rapper and actor Ice Cube tells us all about his exciting basketball league that puts former pros front and center. But first, the most common white lies your parents told you growing up. Don't miss this hilarious new segment coming up next.
Do we have
cards
cards?
for this?
I think you're right in terms of things changing with community college. Community college was the biggest running joke. It's like it got found out that you like, and it's so weird because that somebody's trying to better themselves. But it shows you how much times have changed because people that are, I think it's almost, unless you're going for a specific major, it's almost financially irresponsible, especially if you're going to be responsible for your own financial paying back. I think community college is the way to go. Knock your general ed out.
And then I was reading on this article, and they said the baby boomers are also losing their money because they have to take out money for their kids. So it's not just one generation, it's both.
Not only that, they're also using their Social Security and fixed income in order to pay student loans, people over 65. Like, for real, for real. That's crazy.
Over 65.
I mean,
Yes.
But why do you think the prices just got jacked? You're close to college. You know people that. Why do you think the prices just skyrocketed?
College is a business.
And they also never went with cost of living. They never went with inflation.
It became like a supply and demand thing. I mean, like, think about universities. The university I went to has grown exponentially since I first, when I was a freshman.
My grad school Barry is huge now.
I walk around and I'm like, I don't even recognize this place. Like, most of these buildings weren't even here. Like, I mean, that's...
I think you're right. For-profit college became the word of the day. We started to see it as a business.
Well, it's a hierarchy,
yeah.
too. Like, who's going to spend, or
what a alum is going to spend
hardest
more.
or whatever to put their kid through the school.
Then you see Varsity Blues in there.
welcome back to DBL. Twitter users are going off about little fibs parents told them as kids, whether it was for their own amusement or it just made life a little easier, which I do at home myself. Here are some lies your parents might have told you. You guys ready? First up, stop cracking your knuckles all the time. You'll get arthritis.
I definitely heard that.
I've heard this, but it's not true.
I don't think so.
No, it has
There
to
were
do
all
with
the
air.
people that could get that loud crack, and I'd be like, oh my
It's just
God.
air bubbles, and my mom say it's going to ruin your joints. It has nothing to do with that.
I like how we're debunking now because I think so.
I think so. Also,
But I'm
Joel,
still
we
not gonna
saw you
do
from
it.
behind the wall. We saw you, just so you know.
Oh, Joel, come on out, buddy.
Come on out, Joel.
Come on out, Joe. We got
Take
you.
a look.
Come
Joe,
on.
where are you?
Come on,
Out of your
Joel.
shame.
Oh, there he is. All right. Rob, you totally missed him. If you can't eat cake for breakfast because it's not healthy, but what about donuts, huh?
That's my argument with everything. When I tell people I don't like breakfast food, everybody falls out of their chair. I'm like, pancakes, that's insane. If I had a slice of wedding cake for breakfast, you guys would be like, Al's going off the deep end. But you can have pancakes with sprinkles and whipped cream on it, and that's cool?
You do
It's not the same.
What does he have
Erica,
for breakfast?
the cake is in the word.
No, it's not the same. It's just not. And you have like chicken wings for breakfast, so I don't know.
I have a hearty
He
breakfast.
takes down
That's
a
why I'm a big,
buffalo.
strong country boy.
You take down
And a bowl of-
venison.
and a bowl of salad.
And a bowl of, of arugula.
It's not even salad, it's just lettuce.
It's so gross.
If a boy is mean to you, it means he likes you. I think this is true.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is true, right?
I could spend a full hour on this as to why.
But please don't.
Okay.
No, but give us
I think it's. I not only think it's true. I think it's interesting into what that turns into in terms of the sexual culture. And I know I'm taking it deeply, but when a boy is mean to you, it means he likes you. What does that lead into when they become adults? I think it is a slippery slope. I really do.
I was the most popular girl in elementary school, let me tell you.
All right, let's get back to some fun ones.
Okay, sorry.
If you turn the house lights off or on and off, it'll start a fire. I don't know if I've ever heard this one.
But maybe back in the day, it might have
wiring.
before there was like really like safety switches.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
wiring might have gone.
Did you guys get this all the time? Because in black families, you did not ask people older than you, especially your parents, where they were going. Like you just did not do it.
Oh,
So like
really?
I'd be like, Dad, where are you going? He'd be like, I'm going to see a man about a horse. That's what he would say every time. Like you never asked.
I've heard that statement. But
Yeah.
Let me guess, there wasn't a man about a horse.
There was no. Just going to see a man about a horse.
What if some dude in a horse came to your house? He's like, I need your dad.
That'd be.
It's happening.
Came through.
Papa was right. All right, finally, never wear black and blue together.
Well, that's not true.
Oh, you're wearing blue and blue.
Yeah, I'm not wearing black and blue, but I have done black and blue.
I love black.
Why?
It's fabulous.
What is the?
Yeah, I've
the
never
fashion?
heard that.
Again, like brown shoes and a brown belt, and then black you're supposed to match and not put navy and black together.
Can I just throw this one in?
Yeah.
Has anybody else heard of the silver dollar on the baby's belly button when they're first born so that they get any, not an outie, and then you put a piece of surgical tape in a cross so that God can come down and kiss the belly so that...
I've definitely heard that.
I've never heard that.
The belly button isn't
Tori
any.
thinks that
Okay,
you're
black people hit me up, okay?
Is that a black thing?
Oh, apparently. Well,
I thought it was the truth, and I was giving away silver dollars. Now my friends have babies, and they think I'm crazy.
Go get those dollars back.
Nobody gave me.
Well, now
I could add a
do.
buck now. Tori, I added that up for you. I have 2 kids.
Okay.
That's how it goes. Tori, so like, you have 5 kids? Coming up on DVL, rapper Ice Cube is making a name for himself in pro sports. Learn all about his Big 3 basketball league next. There's 3 people, Tori.
So, just real quick, Jews do this. They won't name their kids after someone living. So, for instance, my mom's Judy. I can't name my daughter, if I have a daughter, Judy, because, get this, it might confuse the angel of death, and they'll kill the wrong Judy.
Wow. Italians believe the exact opposite.
You have to name it after.
Well, my
See, we
Lawson
don't have
is
juniors,
named after my
anything like
dad, and then Leighton has my mom's middle name.
Yeah, we are, until they have passed,
That's, like,
it is
huge.
bad luck to name them after someone, which is the complete
that's
opposite.
weird. It's so crazy.
And I'm marrying a Catholic.
Which usually probably takes the name.
Yeah, it's like junior. I mean, we would never have a junior in Judaism.
I never thought about
Ever.
that.
Wow.
And you think of Jewish
I think
names.
it's so cool, like people's different cultures and like what they do. I
and
love
like
that.
why?
Yeah.
Things about, yeah.
We tie a red ribbon on the bottom of the crib, very low underneath, just so that the angel of death will pass over.
What else is is a typical Jewish tradition when somebody's born? Is there anything?
Well, we have a bris.
Uh-huh.
So that if you guys know what a bris is, it's a little circumcision.
Yeah.
Or if you've watched Seinfeld. There's a whole bris on
There's
there.
whole...
The moil, I know. The moil does the circumcision.
That's exactly right.
See?
And then you always have a naming ceremony. And usually Jews named it after their grandmother or someone who's passed. So it's always those names that have it's always like the grandparents that are going to be the next big names. Like a lot of Evelyns. Like
Don't you remember that Seinfeld?
With
With
the
Shaky the
moil.
Moil, but he had shaky hands, and he had to do the circumcision, and Jerry got his finger cut. It's hilarious.
I think a lot of people, including my husband, found out about Judaism from
sure.
Seinfeld and Curb Your
And Larry
Enthusiasm.
David, yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I think that's the most they knew. Like, I introduced my husband to past.
Welcome back to DBL. The NBA Finals are over, but basketball continues in the Big Three. I sat down with Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and rapper Ice Cube to talk about the league. One of Ice Cube's most iconic songs and Drake's behavior at Raptors games. That's in today's Chatting with the Stars. Check it out.
Big Three.
The Daily Blast Live. Now let's get right to these questions because I have a bunch of them. Coach, you know that the guy next to you has bragged in his song about getting a triple-double. How would you shut down Ice Cube?
I would not let him in the building, so he would have no opportunity to have a triple-double. I'd make him stay home on date night with his wife, Kimberly.
What do you think about Drake's behavior during the playoffs? Like calling attention to himself, and he touched Nick Nurse. I mean, what would you do if Drake is touching your shoulders during the game?
It's not too many things that guys like us fan out about, you know. And Drake, he's a fan. His team, first time winning the championship. You should have saw how I acted the first time the Lakers won the championship. You know, I would have got arrested.
All right, I love it. I love it. Now, Ice Cube, you've been around every A-list, B-list celebrity there is. Can you tell us the best celebrity basketball players?
Oh, man, Snoop was pretty good. The Game is great. Flex from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, even Jaleel White. My man Urkel got game.
If a viewer is saying, hey, I've watched 5-on-5 my whole life, never watched 3-on-3 basketball played professionally, what could you tell that viewer in terms of like what they can expect from this upcoming season?
A lot of people have watched 5-on-5, but most people play 3-on-3.
That's true.
You know, 3-on-3 is the game of the neighborhood. If you love basketball, come see a pure form of basketball in the Big Three.
These games are serious. These guys go at it. Are you guys surprised at the level of competition? And sometimes, I mean, those teams, they're not friendly with each other. I kind of like it. I like the competition.
There's some unfinished business. These guys are physical, they have a lot of pride, and they're going at it because there's a lot of money and there's a championship at stake, and we're wired to win.
I appreciate you guys. Come back, see us anytime. Can't wait for the season. And you guys, our fans, remember, watch Big Three games this weekend. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is
Not thought of, Tori.
Yeah.
Give yourself more credit.
You're absolutely right. I should say it proudly. You're absolutely right.
I've heard Harriet Tubman for me sometimes. No wig on, no wig, straight Harriet Tubman.
Straight Harriet Tubman.
Hey, I heard Mario Lopez once.
Sherry Shepard and Gabriel Iglesias, welcome to Daily Blast Live. My first question is for Sherry. Bradley Cooper is now single. Now, you've made it known that you're kind of into Bradley. Have you heard back from him yet?
No, I've made it known that I am so into Bradley. I keep my door unlocked just in case Bradley Cooper needs to come lay the cable.
Just knock, knock, cable
Tell
guy.
me something, girl.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. That's hilarious. And,
That's it, girl.
Oh, God, Gabriel, can't wait to hear more about your Netflix show, but I need to know more about these 30
Oh, good.
plus.
I was hoping you were going to ask about the
No, I want to know about your 30 plus
Cable.
Volkswagen buses you own. Is this a hobby or an obsession? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's crack. I started collecting cars a few years ago. That's Jay Leno's fault. I saw how much joy he had from just, he gets to play and have fun. And I'm like, I never thought of having more than like a car, maybe 2.
Right.
Before I knew it, I had over 30.
Oh my God, that's
Is
amazing.
it like the largest
I have a museum.
Volkswagen collection?
Really? Mr. Guinness, who knew? Good for you. All right, now to your Netflix show, Mr. Iglesias. I can't wait to watch. Are your show characters based off your real life personalities at all? Tell me about that.
Well, I think they wrote a really great character for me. My professional life is perfect. My personal life is in shambles. Wow, who's that based on? Huh? What?
Mirror.
Thank you. It was like Gabriel was in my bedroom. I don't know what was going on.
No one teaches history like I do.
That's why I let you slide with the dress code.
You can't hide these calves from the rest of the world. I can't get my leg off. Yes, it's based on me in an alternate universe where I would have chosen the path of becoming a school teacher over becoming a comedian.
Wow.
I'm playing the principal who is friends with Gabe, but he wants to save the world. He wants to save all of these kids, which goes against the administration. And so it is just complete shenanigans and foolishness.
Executive producer.
Yes.
Executive producer.
There you go.
You know what that means?
What?
You know what that means? My parking is right next door to the building.
That's right.
Good
That's
parking.
huge, though, man.
And food. Lots
And
of
food. Lots of food.
That's the best part. Craft
I
services.
made sure that on the set we always had food trucks.
Really?
I feel like as long as food is around and present, people are in a much better mood.
People are happy
when they're being fed. Yeah.
This is very true. What kind of food trucks? Did you have all different kinds?
Ooh.
Ice cream, Mexican food, Italian food, sausages, peppers. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Donuts, chocolate.
I feel like this is like my acid trip dream I've always wanted. That sounds amazing. That's incredible.
Gabriel will find some food trucks, girl. I don't know where he gets these food trucks.
Where do you
but
get
they
them?
come.
Where do you
I know
get them?
people.
Oh, you know people. Excuse me. You're right. It's been a few months since an
All right, before we go, we have to give a big DBL shout out to Sandy Zimmerman, who became the first mom to ever compete in the Ninja Warrior, or complete the Ninja Warrior obstacle course. And at 42, she's also the oldest woman to do it. That's according to the show. Let's check it out.
This one, the zone. This is her zone.
Yes. Love that.
Do you see that poster move at the end?
What do you think it's like when she goes to the doctor and they're looking at her chart like, you're free to go?
Cure me.
Yes.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Bye, guys.